Good afternoon. The Board of Adjustment is now in session. My name is Anthony Robinson, and I will be chairing today's meeting. Attending today's virtual meeting are board members Irene Saul, Mona Parsley, Mel DeSimone, and Joe Klitzing. Also in attendance for the city is Mary Hart Burton, Zoning Administrator for the city, Catherine Neiman, Zoning Plan Reviewer for the city, who will represent the city in the cases we are hearing today, Andrea Gutierrez, Lead Zoning Specialist. Excuse me. Our attorney for the board today is Archer Mellon, and our court reporter is Julie Kearns. Today we will be hearing 5 cases. First, we will hear from the city's representative, who will explain why the permit could not be issued. Next, we will hear from the applicant and or the representative of the project. Then we will hear from those in favor of the appeal and then from those opposed. Please be concise, as testimony will be limited to 3 minutes per person. When you come online via video or telephone, please wait to be sworn in by the court reporter, and please state your name and mailing address. To ensure proper records from our court reporter, we ask those online or on the telephone to please remain on mute. Following testimony in all of today's cases, the board will go into its deliberative portion of the hearing, at which time we will vote on all cases heard. The board will notify each applicant and or representative of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. You're welcome to remain during our deliberations. However, we will not hear additional testimony at that time. You may also call the lead zoning specialist, Drea, tomorrow at 314-622-3666 to learn the outcome of your appeal. Again, the number is 314-622-3666. Drea, will you please read appeal number 20568?
Appeal number 20568, 4661 Virginia Avenue.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. All right, so good afternoon, board members. My name's Catherine Neiman, zoning plan examiner for the City of St. Louis, representing the building commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal from the Board of Public Service in the denial of a conditional use permit authorizing the petitioner to operate a convenience store with cooking and packaged liquor, no seating, at 4661 Virginia Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. I'm going to read the Board of Public Services denial letter dated December 3rd, 2024 to Abdullah Abraham at 4661 Virginia Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri 63111. Dear Abdullah Abraham, the Board of Public Service voted on December 3rd, 2024 to deny application number 132623 to occupy 4661 Virginia Avenue as a convenience store with cooking, packaged liquor, no seating, by reason of the fact that the use will be detrimental to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. Should you feel aggrieved by our decision, you have 30 calendar days from the date of this notice to file an appeal with the Board of Adjustment in room 400 at City Hall. For your convenience, an appeal form is included with this notice. If you have any questions relating to the procedures on the appeal, please contact the zoning office at 314-622-3666. Sincerely, Michelle Knox, Secretary to the Board of Public Service. The appellant then appealed the decision, and I'm going to read their appeal form into the record. Comes now Abdullah Abraham and says that on the 3rd day of December 2024, 2024, a conditional use permit was denied by the Board of Public Service that authorized the operation of convenience store with cooking, no packaged liquor, and no seating at 4661 Virginia Avenue. In accordance with the plans and specifications filed on, and the date was left blank, the Board of Public Service denied the conditional use permit for said occupancy, and the petitioner hereby appeals the denial of the permit for the following reasons. The store was a convenience store for many years and commercial zoning. Too many neighbors like to have the store to open again. I have almost 250 surrounding signatures, and my $200 appeal fee is attached. I understand this fee is non-refundable. This 23rd day of December 2024, signed Abdullah Abraham. So in summary, the petitioner first applied for an occupancy permit to operate a convenience store at 4661 Virginia Avenue, which is located in the F District and the Dutchtown Special Use District, which is ordinance number 71557. Convenience stores in the F District and the Dutchtown Special Use District require a conditional use permit prior to a zoning approval. On November 4th, the applicant attended a conditional use hearing where the zoning office recommended a denial to the Board of Public Service. On December 3rd, 2024, the Board of Public Service voted to deny the applicant their conditional use permit by the reason of the fact that the use will be detrimental to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. On December 23rd, 2024, the applicant filed an appeal to the Board of Adjustment, which brings us here today. Also, I would like to note that prior to all of this, the previous convenience store operator had their occupancy permit revoked by the Board of Public Service on June 28th, 2023, and that this is a new business operator applying. I'm also going to read a letter from our Planning and Urban Design Agency. This site is located within a neighborhood preservation area within the Strategic Land Use Plan. The granting of the variance is in keeping with the neighborhood preservation's intent to promote the development of new and rehabilitation of existing commercial uses that are physically integrated with and that primarily serve adjacent neighborhoods. And just for clarification, that is against the 2005 Strategic Land Use Plan. Against the newly adopted 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan, the site is located within a medium intensity corridor. The granting of the variance would be in keeping with the designation's intent of supporting many types of retail with high transparency and active ground floors. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 20568 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. And that is all I have. Do any of the board members have any questions?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant. Mr. Abraham.
Mr. Abraham, I can't see you, but if you can raise your right hand, I will swear you in.
Yes, ma'am.
Do
Can
you-
you hear me now?
I can, yes. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Abraham, if you could give us your name and mailing address for the record.
My name is Abdullah Abraham. Mailing address 6624 Fox Creek Drive, Edwardsville, Illinois 62025.
Okay, go ahead with your testimony.
Yes, sir. As the lady, she said, is being denied on December 3rd, and I'm here the reason to appeal for the denied. And I, like I said again, I have almost, actually I could get more, 250 petition around the area, the neighborhood. Everybody would like the store to be reopened. And the closing the store at this time, I have no idea. I know as I spoke with many neighbors, they will love the store to be open, and they have need for the store, and especially for cooking and food. And I am not asking for a liquor, packaged liquor at all. Even the city will grant me that. I am not asking for that, sir. So I will have a full staff, which is at least 4 people full time, and me, and a full time security guard in the front of the building, and we'll have no other problem with the city like the previous owner he used to have, which is, I understand that that's what the most neighbor concern. I will do my diligence to whatever license needed and security needed, and I think closing the store will not helping, because if they saying too many things happen in the past, I think this is invalid. And I would like to really appreciate everybody, their concern, just to talk about the store, and has a really open, and have some people working and paying taxes to this store. That's basically what I have, and that's wherever the city, wherever the neighbors, they would like to come in and to take a look. I have 16 camera already installed. I clean the store as the neighbor, they knows that, and I clean it inside, outside, brand new equipment, and pavement, and 6 camera outside is valid anytime the city they want to see it, police they want to see it. They will help the city a lot watching the neighborhood. So please allow me a chance to open the store and have a job for a lot of people need a job. And basically that's what I have to add to this thing. I will be securing the building, securing the front door, outdoor, 100%, 110%, not even 100%. That's what I can do. And that's everything I have, sir.
Okay. Any board members have any questions for Mr. Ibrahim?
I have one. He said he's not going to have liquor, but yet it's posted for packaged liquor.
No, sir. I did not ask for liquor from day one, but they tell me you can apply for it. Is my zoning allowed me to do it? I did not ask for liquor from day one, and that is on the meeting, the old meeting as well too. I did not ask for it.
I'm looking at the packet here. It's got a bunch of petitions for our liquor.
No petition for a food. I'm gonna have basically full line food, full line kitchen, which is Mediterranean or Middle Eastern and American food. So it's gonna be a line of vegetable, a line of salad as well, a line of pizza, basically full kitchen. And a lot of people really, they have at least I would say a minimum transportation. They don't have the capability to go to.
I'm looking at
yes.
This is license approval petition.
Now, maybe I can
Go
clear
ahead.
this up. Mr. Abraham, it appears that your original application that went before BPS was for a convenience store with cooking and packaged liquor. So are you saying that since the time you went to BPS and were denied, you've now decided not to do the packaged liquor sales?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. If you said that, I denied it. I refused the first one. From the first one, even the Alderman, Mr. Khan, Sean Khan, okay, I don't know how you spell the last name, but he knows about it, and I tell him I am not. By mistake, when I sent somebody to put me that application, was not liquor.
What I need you to understand is, regardless of what you talked about, when you made the application has on there that you will be doing cooking and packaged liquor, but no seating. If you're no longer intending to do the packaged liquor, or if you never intended to do packaged liquor sales, you'll need to have your application revised.
Okay, I'll basically, I have never attended to be packaged liquor, ma'am. I really, I did not.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mary, how do we proceed at this point? because his application is not what.
So if the board would decide that they want to overturn it, in deliberations, you can overturn and order that the applicant revise the application prior to the occupancy being issued. So right now, I believe you can just move forward with taking any testimony from anyone who is here in support of the revocation. I'm sorry, in support of the appeal, or
Right.
anyone that's here in opposition to the appeal.
Okay.
Did that make sense? Sorry.
That does.
Long answer.
Does any other board members have any questions for Mr. Abraham? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Hmm,
Yes.
other than Mr. Abraham?
Yes. This is Saeed Al-Shmeisawi. I'm the landlord of the building.
Okay, let's get you sworn in.
Yes,
Sir, will you raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
My name is Saeed Al-Shmeisawi.
And mailing address?
My address 7373 Merwanat Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri 63116.
Okay.
Could you please give us the correct spelling of your name so that we get the record correct?
Yes. First name Said and last name Al-Shmeisawi. Al-Shemisawi.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Go ahead with your testimony.
Well, I own the building, and the previous the owner of the business, they are two guys. They have a problem, whatever, with the city or with the tax. So it's been closed almost 2 years. It's supposed to be 1 year, but now it's almost 2 years. And I have no other income. Only that the building. I'm trying to make a living from this building. Okay, and I've been work with the American military as a transportation. I mean a translator. I'm sorry, and I'm retired now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any board members have any questions? All right. Is there anyone else here in favor of this appeal? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
Yes,
I'm
Kyle
here to
Russell.
I'm here to speak in opposition. My name is Molly Redman.
Okay, Ms. Redmond, let's get you sworn in.
Okay.
Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, state your name and mailing address for the record.
My name is Molly Redman. That's R-E-B as in boy, MANN. And my mailing address is 4722 Virginia Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay. Go ahead with your testimony.
I have spoken in opposition of this store opening in the fall, and I did participate in the hearing, which got shut. The previous store was shut down. I've said a lot of the same things, but I did want to reiterate a couple of things from the past, but a couple new pieces of information to help you guys sway what you want to choose. But the man that had been walking around getting signatures for Abraham's petition to open ran into me on the sidewalk just like a month ago or so, and I didn't recognize him at first, but he stopped me and let me know he apologized to me, and it took me by surprise because, like I said, I didn't recognize him, but he apologized to me to let me know that he didn't even know why he was walking around the neighborhood to get signatures, and that he actually was happy to see that that store had not been able to open because he didn't know what he was getting signatures for. I run a tattoo shop out of the same address that I live. I live upstairs, and then I have a business on the first floor, and I can see the entrance to 4661 Virginia from my front door. We have seen many wild things happen over the past 5 years there under the same owner that owns that building as of right now. There's a lot of fear in the neighbors around me. I would be shocked to know if the 250 signatures are legitimate that were collected in petition for that store, because for 5 years being a neighbor and also a business owner, one of the most important things as far as a priority with me is getting to know the people around me, because community is very important to me. I have not met one person that thinks a store should be in that location. I've had to help some of the elderly neighbors that live, a block behind me, like scan letters in and email them, because people do not have the means to show up to this meeting at 1:30 on a Wednesday. They don't have the capability to type on their laptop to send in a letter, because a lot of people around me just generally don't know how to do that stuff. So I really doubt that 250 signatures have been collected in favor of that store opening. I'm not going to repeat all the things I've said in the past, but we're all very afraid of what would happen if a store like they're proposing opens, and they've broken a lot of rules already, and they haven't even had an open sign yet. So that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Furman. Any board members have any questions? Okay, is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
Okay, hear me?
So let's start with hands. There's phone number 225-367-8210.
Yes, my name's Kyle Russell.
Okay, Kyle, let's get you sworn in.
You'll raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, and again, could you state your name for the record, Kyle, and your mailing address?
Kyle Russell. Mailing address is 4132 South Compton Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri 63118.
All right, go ahead with your testimony.
So I've been in Dutchtown a little bit over 5 years, and I was in a house previously on Idaho, and that store, when it was open, was just, you could see people with assault rifles outside walking around. It was just not a very inviting place. Since my time in Dutchtown, I have bought the property that's across the street from it, 4700 Virginia, as I'm the president of New Life Investment Group, and we have been actively investing into the neighborhood. We currently, to this day, still have bullet holes from shootouts on that street, and I would not have purchased the building if I knew that store was going to open back up. Like I understand that he said that he did not submit an application for liquor, but you put up a sign that says liquor. Like even his testimony today, you can clearly see that like there's some issues and like he's going back and forth with things, and I just don't think it's a good place. And he also owns a store on Grand that kind of perpetuates that same type of environment. And I just want to say that I would not have invested in 4,700 if he was going to reopen that store, and I think it should not open. Like I've sent in a letter as well, and I just want to voice my displeasure with the thought of that store even being open.
Okay. Any board members have any questions for Mr. Russell? All right, thank you. Nathan Lindsay, let's get you sworn in.
Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, state your name and mailing address for the record.
Yeah, Nathan Lindsay, 3400 Merrimack, St. Louis, Missouri, 63118.
All right, go ahead with your testimony.
Yeah, so my name is Nate Lindsay. I'm the attorney for Dutchtown Main Streets, a neighbor within Dutchtown. I own property on the 4700 block of Virginia. And I also pro bono handle our vacancy abatement strategy for Dutchtown Main Streets, which has focused on the 4700 block as sort of a pivotal area where the vacancy rates just prior to COVID was above 70%. One of the reasons for that was because we had ongoing nuisances at the property that is still owned by the current building owner who testified previously. We managed through a great effort to get that former convenience store shut down. And then in order for the community to further protect itself, we took on, Dutchtown Main Streets took on the process of passing a special use district zoning overlay to further regulate convenience stores in the area to ensure that they aligned with community expectations. And so that is why there's a conditional use on that, as well as conditions on what can be sold and can't be sold at convenience stores. I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that planning's testimony that was presented here seemed to just talk about the updated 2025 SLUIP as opposed to what the requirements are under the special use district, which would include the prohibition of selling tobacco. When Mr. Abraham was applying originally, he applied not under a convenience store license, but under a confectionery license, and immediately put up a sign that said discount tobacco on this building without seeking any permits. We know what type of store he operates, and we know what type of store would be detrimental to the community. And the community during multiple hearings now, whether it was the past owner or whether it is this owner, has explained that this type of predatory convenience store that is not offering fresh food, that is predominantly selling tobacco, often drug paraphernalia, attempting to sell packaged liquor, these are the types of stores that harm our neighborhoods in walkable mixed-use areas where you have a density of residential along with mixed-use commercial. So we've come a long way with those tools to now lower vacancy on this block to below 30% with several CDCs and locally owner-occupied businesses like Sign of the Times, like Intertwine, like Tiny Postcards, which is owned by Mr. Russell's investment group. We've come a long way on this block. And the reason that you see so many people on this call, I think, is because they understand the importance of the city of St. Louis respecting the structures that we have put in place, including the special use district, to make sure that we are protecting our community from predatory businesses coming in just to try to make money, as opposed to trying to contribute positively to the economic development and real estate development environment along this block. And so I would ask that you deny this appeal, in particular, since it's seeking packaged liquor, but also if there is a reapplication, that planning look closely at what the community did with regard to the special use district to see if that application actually aligns with the regulations under the special use district, which I don't believe it does. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. Any board members have any questions? Okay. Kyle Brandt Lubert. Let's
Hello.
get you sworn in.
Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. State your name and mailing address for the record.
Kyle Brandt Lubart, 4700 Virginia Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63111.
All right. Go ahead with your testimony.
So I am a local business owner. I'm also a Dutchtown resident, but I'm going to speak more to my immediate proximity to the store as a business owner. I am the tenant in Kyle Russell's building that New Life Investment Group owns, the 4700 building that's been mentioned before. So I'm a mental health provider and a licensed clinical social worker. So in my practice, it is absolutely imperative that safety can be guaranteed for people of all ages who might be coming here for programming. The point of opening this practice here was to be able to offer mental health services in an area where there is not a whole lot of that. And to be able, again, with people of all ages, but I would really love to be able to expand youth programming, things of that nature, at this physical space. So I am, of course, very concerned, given not just the history, but also the present interactions and a lot of the inconsistencies that we've heard in this hearing and in separate conversations from Mr. Abraham. So it's already been brought up. There's inconsistencies around, are you applying for liquor or not? In the previous hearing, there was a lot of inconsistency around his testimony regarding whether he knew the building owner or not. There was a back and forth around, this person is my friend. No, I don't really know him. This person is my friend. No, I don't really know him. So that was a glaring inconsistency. There was also an inconsistency in the last hearing around, will there be other business activities going on at this location? So there was sort of a, there will be phone repairs, there won't be, there will, there won't be. This was flagged by the person running that hearing and, brought up as a concern, in addition to the concerns the community was bringing. So those inconsistencies to me are evidence that there is not trust, that we cannot have trust. And if we cannot have trust, then we cannot have safety. So safety being a huge concern for the neighborhood, but especially for me and my practice. And similarly, I think that a big part of why I chose to root my practice here is because of seeing the growth on the block, feeling the community efforts, the collective efforts to make the Dutchtown neighborhood, but especially this hub of 4700 Virginia, a place that is livable, walkable, a good place to own a business. And I feel strongly that this convenience store reopening would compromise that for neighbors, residents, business owners, investors, all of the above.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Denise Lampley.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hi, let's stop, Ms. Lampley. Let's get you sworn in.
Okay.
If You'll raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Now state your name and mailing address for the record.
Okay, it's Janice Lampley and 4655 Virginia Avenue.
All right. Go ahead with your testimony.
Okay, I am also with another person that also wants to provide testimony when I'm finished. But so I am speaking, I'm the director at Brighter Futures Daycare, which is right next door to the proposed location for a corner store. This is maybe the fourth hearing that I've been present for in opposition to the store. I'm going to try my best to keep it short and sweet. I'm echoing everything that everyone else has already said in this hearing and in prior hearings. There are just a few things I did want to mention. So specifically, something that Molly mentioned earlier, I am curious about those 200 or whatever the amount of signatures are. I know when you need a business license to serve liquor, so a liquor license specifically, you need addresses, you need signatures from registered voters, property owners, as well as local businesses. So I am curious as to who actually signed those, if they meet any of those criteria. I know we're not here for that type of license. I'm just, I work at another business and we have a liquor license, so I know the procedure that you have to do. I am curious about the proposed hours of the location. I don't remember what time they closed before, but I am curious about what time they are trying to be open. I am also curious about the other businesses that I don't know which one, if it's the business owner or the property owner, but I know one of them does own other locations. I haven't heard anything positive about any of those other locations and the detrimental effects on those communities, but I am concerned that those would then be mirrored in our community. I also live about 2 blocks away, so I'm speaking as on behalf of the business and also on behalf of myself as a resident in the community. And then I'm also concerned about security. I know he mentioned having security, but in a previous hearing, the security sounds like a transient that would be providing security. So I'm concerned if it's himself, a transient person within the community, or actually like a off-duty police officer. Just what type of security is it that actually is being provided? Same sentiments regarding tobacco and liquor, if those things would be sold or how that will work, and just general safety issues. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to be too long. So I'm in strong opposition to the opening of the corner store. Thank you.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? All right. Thanks, Ms. Lampley. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition of this appeal?
Yes, my name is Michelle Ross.
Ms. Ross, let's get you sworn in.
You'll raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you
All right.
your name and mailing address for the record?
Yes. Michelle Ross, I'm at 4655 through 4657 Virginia Avenue. I am next door to the convenience store.
Okay.
All right. I'm the owner of the daycare, and I also previously lived above the daycare, but we expanded, so now we utilize the whole daycare for the children. The store is a menace. There's no way around it. It's a menace. The community is finally trying to get back together. We are able to have festivals. The children are able to walk. There is community involvement. Before that, we couldn't have any of that. There were constant drug use, constant loitering, constant violence, constant gun use. It's a menace. To even consider reopening this store is a joke. I can't see anybody allowing anybody to poison their community knowingly, willingly. So that's why so many people are constantly protesting against this store. We have nothing against the owner or the person who wants to run the store, but speaking for myself, take that to your community. Do that at your home, in your location. And I believe he will not, because he knows what he's providing. I'm absolutely, totally against, and I can't even say I would keep my business there if they open. It's that much of a harm to myself, the children, and the people around. I'm constantly showing people off, but since the store is gone, I don't have that traffic. Like he said, there's gun activity up and down the street. How do you explain that to preschoolers? The parents aren't comfortable picking up their children. They feel for their safety and the safety of their children. It's a bad move for the community altogether. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any board members have any questions? All right. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Okay, hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board,
Mr. Chair.
basis of denial based on the Board of Public Service denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from Planning and Urban Design, copy of the VPS file, email letter of opposition from Earl and Latasha Smith, letter of opposition from Stacy Harviton.
Mr. Robinson, I'm so
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, but I think Alderman Shane Cohn is trying to speak. I'm not sure if that's correct.
Yes,
Shane.
it is.
Okay.
Alderman Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Let's get you sworn in.
If you will raise your right hand, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Alderman Shane Cohn, 1200 Market Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63103. I also live at 4666 Tennessee Avenue, which is just a few blocks over from the location of this building and proposed business.
Okay, go ahead with your testimony, Alderman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate it. I am happy to see so many of my neighbors out participating in this process. I appreciate their time this afternoon. And I share their concerns with respect to the inconsistencies that we've heard, not just on today's hearing, but over the past year or more that we've been hearing from the appellate here. In terms of trying to operate the store. This has been a process that's been taking several months, many efforts from neighbors to not only shut down the previous store that was operating there, but then addressing the many inconsistencies and, frankly, sometimes illegal activities that were taking place there as they were moving forward with trying to open, whether that was, putting up signage before they had a permit to put up signage. When they put up the signage incorrectly, it had that they were going to be selling tobacco products. In fact, they had loaded the entire back wall of the store with tobacco products before they had their occupancy permit. So the sign was not a lie. It was not an accident. But the sale of tobacco products, as it was mentioned earlier, is prohibited in the Dutchtown Special Use District by anyone that would be operating a convenience store. Time and time again, when these concerns have been brought, forth to the applicant, the response has been, "I didn't know," or "We're going to change it," or "We're not going to do it," and it consistently evolves and frankly has been very frustrating for both myself and my neighbors. to have to continue moving forward with this process. At one point in time, I did try to organize a meet and greet with neighbors. This was after he had already tried to open and had already, started loading, tobacco products into the store, had already put up the signs illegally. And it was a goodwill attempt at trying to build that trust in the community with him, but he unfortunately had already eroded that trust to the point where people did not feel safe or comfortable having those conversations with him at that juncture. And I think as noted to date, many of those conversations still have not, taken place because people are concerned around their ability to be able to trust what is happening here. And so I share those concerns. I share the frustrations in terms of the ongoing, pushing the needle, pushing the boundaries here. And I feel as though this should be denied. So I'll entertain any questions that you all might have. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions for the alderman? Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Okay. I will continue to read exhibits into the record. Letter of opposition from Christy McCutcheon, Executive Director, St. Joseph Housing Initiative. Letter of opposition from Clinton LaBerge. Letter of opposition from Mark Swain, President, Mount Pleasant Neighborhood Association. Letter of opposition from David Rogers, Board President of DeSales Community Development. Email letter of opposition from Kay Westby. Letter of opposition from Sally Cabot. Letter of opposition from Donna Bryant. And a letter of opposition from Kurt Young. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Drea, can you read appeal number 20569?
Appeal number 20569, 2709 through 13 Marcus Avenue.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Hey, good afternoon, board
Yes.
members.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the zoning staff's summary of the application thus far, and then we'll get to testimony afterwards, okay? So good afternoon, board members. My name's Catherine Neiman, zoning plan examiner for the city of St. Louis, representing the building commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal from the Board of Public Service in the denial of a conditional use permit authorizing the petitioner to expand their existing restaurant and full drink bar at 2709 through 2713 Marcus Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance.
Before you continue, were you sworn in?
I was.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna now read the Board of Public Services denial letter. So dated December 3rd, 2024 for Janae's Cocktail Lounge at 2713 Marcus Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri 63113. Dear Janiyah King, the Board of Public Service voted on December 3rd, 2024. Sorry, the Board of Public Service voted on December 3rd, 2024 to deny application number 132622, Janae's Cocktail Lounge, to occupy 2709 through 13 Marcus Avenue as an expanding existing restaurant and full drink bar by reason of the fact that the use will be detrimental to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. Should you feel aggrieved by our decision, you have 30 calendar days from the date of this notice to file an appeal with the Board of Adjustment in room 400 at City Hall. For your convenience, an appeal form is included with this notice. If you have questions relating to the procedures on the appeal, please contact the zoning office at 314-622-3666. Sincerely, Michelle Knox, Secretary to the Board of Public Service. I'm then going to read the appellant's appeal form. So comes now Janiyah King and says that on the 3rd day of December 2024, a conditional use permit was denied by the Board of Public Service that authorized the operation of 2709 Marcus Avenue 63113 as a restaurant and bar in accordance with the plans and specifications filed on, again, blank date herewith. The Board of Public Service denied the conditional use permit for said occupancy as stated above, and the petitioner hereby appeals the denial of the permit for the following reasons. The restaurant and bar are not a health and safety issue and is not detrimental to the public. It has been almost 4 years with no serious issues. My $200 appeal fee is attached. I understand this fee is non-refundable. This 30th day of December 2024, and then signed by the petitioner. So in summary, the petitioner first applied to open a restaurant and bar at this address in the F District. Restaurants and bars in the F District require a conditional use permit prior to zoning approval. The applicant's conditional use hearing was continued 3 times. Those conditional use hearings were scheduled for May 30th, 2024, September 5th, 2024, and November 14th, 2024, where it was ultimately heard. The zoning office recommended a denial to the Board of Public Service. On December 3rd, 2024, the Board of Public Service voted to deny the applicant their conditional use permit on the basis of the fact that the use will be detrimental to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. On December 30th, 2024, the petitioner filed an appeal to the Board of Adjustment, which brings us here today. And then lastly, I'm going to read a letter from our Planning and Urban Design Agency. So, against the 2005 Strategic Land Use Plan, the site's located within a neighborhood preservation area. The granting of the variance is in keeping with the neighborhood preservation's area intent to promote the development of new and the rehabilitation of existing commercial uses physically integrated with and that primarily serve adjacent neighborhoods. Against the 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan, the site is located within a medium intensity neighborhood. The granting of the variance would be in keeping with the designation's intent of supporting many types of neighborhood serving businesses, included appropriately scaled restaurants and bars. Therefore, planning staff find the request of appeal number 20569 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Do any of the board members have any questions?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant. Ms. King.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Yes. This is Walter Lay, co-owner of Janae's Cocktail Lounge.
Okay, Mr. Lake, let's get you sworn in.
Yes. No,
Sir,
well, they asked both of us, but
sir,
I'm sorry, so we can only take testimony from one at a time, and we have to swear each of you in.
okay
So
then.
start with you.
if you
Okay,
raise
it's
your right
fine. I'm
hand,
Walter Lay.
if you raise your right
Yes,
hand, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, I do.
All right, and then state your name and mailing address for the record.
Walter Lay, mailing address 2713 Marcus Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri 63113.
Okay, go ahead with your testimony.
Yeah, initially we releasing the building and we end up purchasing the entire property, which is a 3-unit building, but it's one entrance. It's 3 entrances, but you can go through any entrance and be in all of them. So I guess when we call ourselves including that address, the 2709 with 2711 and 13, the CDX site said we needed to go down and get inspection, get occupancy permit, and everything should be okay. Well, upon doing that, we, I guess we ran across this conditional use hearing, and that's when Sharon Tyre stepped in and said, just this one time that she wanted to meet with us, and it was a bunch of failed appointments and no shows, and finally we met up with her, and she said, run the place for 90 days, the other end, the unit that we wanted to include. She said, run it for 90 days and she'll come back and check. But since then, we haven't heard from her since. And I just wanted to say, we haven't had any communication with her. It's a lot of things that this restaurant and bar has to offer. We pay at least $20,000 a year in taxes and business licenses. She stated that parking was an issue. We have a parking lot. We purchased a lot across the street. I don't know. I'm not understanding what the health and safety issue is. And also we have a lot of things that I turned in just the other day, support letters from at least 150 signatures from some neighbors and patrons that support the restaurant. We sell fresh cooked food. Probably it's not a mile, maybe a mile and a half with a restaurant like that. We sell everything: breakfast, fresh cooked, lunch, and dinner.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lay. Any board members have any questions?
What are your hours of operation in the days right now?
The days we're allowed to open from 6 a.m. to 1:30 a.m.
I understand what you're allowed. What hours are you open?
Oh, we open from noon to 1:30 a.m.
How many days a week?
7 days a week, but Sundays is midnight.
Okay. So I was wondering, you said you had breakfast, but you know it was until noon, so I was just wondering why.
Well, no, we had, and I think that's where the problem started. We had breakfast, but then we ended up firing a cook and a bartender, and that's when it seemed like all the problems came. They called every inspector, but everything passed. They called the building inspector, health inspector, electrical maintenance, all of that, and everything passed with flying colors. That's why I'm not understanding what's the health and safety issue. But we recently stopped serving breakfast, but we're looking to open that back up to sell breakfast, and that'll bring more employees, employ more people.
Okay. How many employees do you have?
Right now, probably 14.
Thank you. That's all.
Are you currently open? I'm a little confused.
Yes, we're open. What up and running since 20. We've never closed. That's what I'm not understanding. We're currently open. We've been open since 2020. It's been 4 years since 2021. We've never closed.
And all you're trying to do is expand the business, correct?
Correct. What we were trying to do, it's a 3-unit building. When we bought it, we had a license for the middle and the end unit. And then we just, when we bought it, it was a barber shop on the end. We just figured $600 a month. That's what they were paying. I said, we could do, that's $20 a day. We could do better than that. We want to do the whole building. So we went and got everything inspected on the end, the plumbing, electric, all of that. And even the fire guy, the suppression system, they all came back out and passed. So we not understanding. And what their concern was, when you enter one unit, can you go through all of them? And the answer is yes. It's been like that for years. When you go into one end, you can go enter through all the buildings. It's just when the barbershop was there, they had a piece of plywood up, to keep you from entering that unit. But what was told to me, for the 60 years they've been there, it initially was all a bar. And then the barbershop came and they sectioned that part off. And since then, you can walk in and open through outside. We just wanted to include 2709 with 11 and 13.
Got it. Another question.
Just one.
Okay. Are your patrons using your parking lot, or are they parking in front of other people's homes?
No, there are no homes. And like I said, I've got cameras sitting up there for 4 years. It's no houses on Marcus, all the way down from Northland on down to maybe Greer. But then when you go the other way, the house, it's one house on the corner, and that guy, he's never had a problem with us. He's never had a problem. I think he parks in his garage or something. But up the street, he doesn't have a problem. We got a parking lot, and we purchased a lot across the street, and they park over there. He's never had a problem. They can go knock on his door and ask them. That's why I say I don't understand where any of that came from.
And you have a commercial dumpster, I'm assuming?
We have a commercial dumpster.
Do you have a trash can out in front for patrons to use?
Yeah, we had a trash can. It's like it's in the doorway, because it was a metal can, but they keep coming by and taking it. But when they're out there, yes, they can put it out there. But at nighttime, we bring it back in because they do take it.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. That's all the questions I have at this time.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. Ms. King, do you wish to testify in addition to
Yes.
Mr. Ray? Okay, let's get you sworn in.
If you'll raise your right hand, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, state your name and mailing address for the record.
It's Janelle King. Mailing address is 2713 Marcus Avenue, and I reside at 4519 Lexington Avenue, which is a couple of blocks over from Restaurant and Lounge.
Okay, go ahead with your testimony.
Okay, as he stated, we have been there for like over 4 years, no incidents. So when we purchased the building, we just really wanted to just include one address, as he stated. We do have a full liquor license for 2713 and 2711 Marcus. We do provide food. We do open up at 12 and closes at 1:30. Trash can is out in the front, and whatever debris is on the street from the church into the stop sign, we go out at the end of the night and pick up all debris. So when people get up and go in the morning, go to work, they won't have to ride past, the building with a lot of debris and everything on the street. and with me actually staying around the corner from the bar, I do live in my own neighborhood. No current incidents with fighting or anything. We don't have people hanging out on the front, at all. And it's pretty much it's safe, and I'm not understanding with the safe and healthy. The safety issues. We do have security. Been having security for a little bit, over 2 to 3 years now, all shifts. And then our patrons, like if anything, even arguments, anything, they just kind of like tell them, okay, that's unnecessary. Let's go back doing, having fun and continue, with the business and everything. So that's all I really have to say in support of our business.
Okay, thank you, Ms. King. Any board members have any questions? All right, is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Hello, everyone. My name is Scott Shelton. I am a resident.
Let's get you sworn in.
Okay.
If you'll raise your right hand, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, and then state your name and mailing address for the record.
Okay, my name is Scott Shelton. I live in a neighborhood at 4706 Labadie. I am also the president of the Kingsville Neighborhood Corporation. I'd like to mention that when Janae first came to us, she has been a participant in our organization, not only joining our monthly meetings, which seem to move to bi-weekly now, and she's also has participated in some of the organization's programs, i.e. the National Night Out, the cleanups. We actually have one coming up this month that she's going to participate in as well. So she is a supportive member of the neighborhood. And when she first came to us pertaining to supporting her lounge, we asked that she would make some concessions for us. And so one of those main concessions was that on Sundays, considering that we have the churches in the neighborhood, would she consider opening later so that, the church members could get to and from church without the extra traffic from her business? And she complied. And I must say that was, very generous of her, because she did not have to do that. Some of the things that I like to support with her business would be helpful for not only the community but the city as well. It would help streamline her business. She's trying to combine by adding the other unit. It would reduce confusion for both customers and the authorities to ensure, that the business operates under one unified location. To kind of avoid, I guess, bureaucratic hurdles. She would also be legally complying. The business is less likely to, let's say, run afoul of local laws. It would, I guess the license would cover the whole address, preventing any potential legal issues or zoning and permits. That would be helpful. Not to mention the economic growth. By consolidating, the business can grow its operation and possibly create more jobs. They're already employing 14. Is that correct, what I hear? 14 employees? And by expanding, I'm sure they would need more employees, which would bring further growth to the city as well. I guess it would help them also provide a better customer experience, because I guess combining the address, it creates more coherent and efficient space for customers to enjoy. and improve their overall experience. Let's see, what else would it be? Let's say long-term stability. A business that can grow and scale in a way that reduces operational complexity is likely to be more stable long-term. Supporting this, I guess, would secure longevity and the local business scape. Probably would encourage more business on the Marcus Avenue. Excuse me? Did someone say anything? Okay. As I was saying, it would support more business on the Marcus Avenue strip there because there are some areas where we could use more business. Who knows? Maybe a Starbucks might pop up. So the other thing is that I hear that they have 2 parking lots already. I don't see an issue with the parking. I don't see a problem with that. So let's see what else. I think another issue is that please forgive me. I didn't mean for my phone to disturb us.
No, that's all right. You're at 3 minutes.
I'm at 3 minutes already?
So yes, if you
Okay.
could wrap up. Go ahead.
Oh, I can continue?
Yes, but quickly.
Make it quickly. Okay, so I was just recently researching what the city considers the definition of detrimental to public health. You know, it's kind of broadly defined as that unreasonable, annoying, injure, or endanger the safety, health, morals, or repose of any inhabitants of the city or part thereof. This includes activities such as that could constitute felony, misdemeanor, or ordinance violation of state or municipality law. So I guess the question is, have they violated any of these with a felony, misdemeanor, or ordinance violation under federal, state, or municipality law? And I think that should be considered because I haven't heard anything about that mentioned specifically. So as not only a resident, but as a member of the Kingsville Neighborhood Corporation, I would like to wholeheartedly support their efforts in expanding. Thank you.
Thank you. Any board members have any questions? Okay, is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? All right, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Alderwoman Tyus, let's get you sworn in.
If you'll raise your right hand, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I affirm. Can you hear me? All right.
Yes, state your name
Okay.
and mailing address for the record.
I am Sharon Tyus, the Alderwoman of the 12th Ward, and formerly the Alderwoman of the 1st Ward and formerly the Alderwoman of the 20th Ward. My address is 1200 Market, room 230, 63103.
Go ahead.
So I have represented this area in different titles for a while now. First, since 1991 through 2003 when I was redistricted. And when I came back, they had put that part of the ward, which would be that 4700 block, that 47 and 4800 blocks and the Marcus address into the 4th Ward. And then recently, 2 years ago, under redistricting, they put it all back. So it's under my ward number now, which is now 12. I've listened to the testimony and I'm kind of surprised at the testimony about they couldn't get me, because how I met Miss Janae King was I got calls from the people on Northland, which abuts the restaurant and bar, about the people parking in front of their houses and creating noise. Now, I already kind of knew some of that because I live 2 blocks west of this particular property. Well, really 3, because I live near Kings Highway. And so I live 3 blocks west and 1 block over. And I own property in the 4800 block of Northland, so I come down that street quite often. But in this particular day, I was driving down Marcus, and it was evening, and they had a big party bus there, and the traffic was backed up, and people were honking, and cars were parked on Northland. Now, to be fair, there is another event space on the, what corner is that? That's the southwest corner. And all the time I've been in a Board of Aldermen since 1991, there were never 2 liquor licenses. There was 1, and that was a reason, because it was residential. It was called Peter Guns, and they were there, and we had problems with them, but they had a barbershop and then another Checkers Club or something there. But we always had problems with them. In fact, the houses down at that end, we started to tear down a lot of them because of the problems. So when I drove down Marcus that day, and I saw this young lady, and I went and I said, "Do you know who the owner is?" And she said, "Yes, it's me." I gave her my card. I said, "Look, I'm getting complaints. I need for you to get in contact with me because I need to talk to you about what's going on." At that point, I didn't know anything about a conditional use hearing. I just know that I had gotten complaints, and I saw the big party bus blocking the street and the traffic. And so she said she would, and they never got in contact with me, ever. So then when it was a conditional use, they started calling me. And so we did meet in May. I went there purposefully. I had never been in the place myself because I'm not a drinker and I don't hang out at bars a lot. So I went in there to meet with them in their restaurant/lounge. And what I saw and what I heard was interesting to me, because what I saw was that they were doing a lot of things that they told me, well, they had an argument with a employee who had reported them because they were already conducting business in that site without a permit. That's an ordinance violation that Mr. Shelton was looking for. They were doing other things that were ordinance violations. So I sat down and talked to them because they seem like a really nice couple. They don't live in the Kingsway East neighborhood because they're not one neighborhood. They're 2 different neighborhoods. They kind of made a neighborhood organization because for a while, half of the neighborhood of Kingsway East was in the 4th Ward. So they called it the Kingsville neighborhood. But there is a Kingsway East neighborhood organization that really covers that. And so I went in there and I talked to them about the parking lot. It was horrible and was all this junk piled up on it and wood and everything and trash and weeds. And so I said, you know, when you want somebody to support you with something, you got to clean up around here. So I asked them, I gave them a list of things they needed to do. I did ask them, I said, for the next 90 days, let me see how you operate, because I'm not going to support anybody who can't operate within the law. So I go by there all the time. They never touched the parking lot. They never cleaned it up. That weeds growing every place. They said, we own the property across the street. All kind of junk is piled on that lot. In fact, you're going to hear testimony from the person I sent out to take a picture today of that lot that they say they own across the street. There's a big machine on it. Okay, it's always something on it. On the adjacent parking lot, they have a party bus or van or whatever it is, and other cars lined up. And I asked him, I said, you know, the people are complaining on Northland about your people coming and parking in front of their house. Why don't you, since you have 2 entrances, if you could fence off that entrance that abuts onto Northland, they could then just go in and out of the Marcus entrance, and that would satisfy some of the concerns. Instead of doing that, they did the exact opposite, and they put these 2 cars, which I sent you some pictures, you can see always, 2 cars that block off the entrance to Marcus, which forced their customers to come down the residential street and come into the Northland entrance and exit into the Northland entrance. So that really kind of really irritated me, because if you're asking for an expansion and a condition, I'm not a conditional use, but you're asking for an expansion with more liquor, then I want you to show me that you have a concern that you're in a residential neighborhood. At the same time, I talked to them about the other place that is right across the street, and that when both of them come, when they have events at both places, the streets are packed because the patrons don't park on those parking lots. They can't for part of the reasons. I'm sorry.
Okay, Alderwoman, you're at 5 minutes right now, and you
Okay,
also
I'll wrap up.
did a letter
I'll wrap up.
that we need
Okay.
to.
Okay, I'll wrap up. And so I did, when they never did anything, including to this day, they haven't done the things I asked them. I wrote a letter of support and, I'm sorry, I wrote a letter of opposition and I sent it in and I'm sorry, excuse me, what? You can get on this one. Anyway, I wrote a letter of opposition because I put in writing to them what I wanted to see happen, and they still haven't. If you look at the pictures I sent you, it's still much the same situation. And I do have someone who wants to testify. They couldn't get on, so they're here, and they want to testify on my feed.
Okay. Are you done with your testimony, Alderman?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Do any board members have any questions? Okay, Catherine. Would you like to now read into the record the Alderwoman's letter of opposition?
Sure. So dated April 16th, to members of the Board of Adjustment, subject line Board of Adjustment Appeal number 20569. Members of the Board of Adjustment, and this is Alderwoman Sharon Tice's letter of opposition that I'm reading into the record, because it was sent after the packets went out. So I'm just going to read it into the record now. Members of the Board of Adjustment, please accept this letter as my objections to the granting of the conditional use to the applicant, Janae's Cocktail Lounge. The applicants and I met on June 26, 2024 at the proposed location. At that time, I shared my several of my concerns with them regarding the operation of Janae's Cocktail Lounge. The concerns I shared with the applicants are, number one, both they and the other event space next door to them were both using the establishment as if it were in the G neighborhood commercial district instead of an F neighborhood commercial district. Specifically, of their clientele from party buses and other sources are persons not residing in the immediate area, which is one of the requirements of the F neighborhood commercial districts. Number two, the party buses that were brought from out of town to party at Janae's were blocking traffic and creating traffic backups. Number three, the adjacent parking lots owned by Janae's that were filled with junk, weeds, and needed to be cleared and made to be for a parking lot that could be used by their clients. Number four, as the adjacent parking lot has two entrances and exits, I requested they block the entrance and exit to the parking lot onto the 4700 block of Northland Avenue, allowing their clients to enter and exit from Marcus, which is a secondary street. This solution would thereby decrease commercial traffic on the residential street. Instead, they did the opposite, blocking the entrance off at Marcus, forcing their clients to enter off of the residential street Northland. Number five, the failure of their clients to park on the lot, but instead parking on the adjacent residential streets. Number six, the need for the applicants to obtain more off-street parking. Number seven, their late hours and noise in a community that is quiet by 10 p.m. Number eight, the failure to police the area for trash. The bar is located 2 blocks from my home, and I often pass it on more than one occasion per day. Since our meeting, I have not seen the party buses at the location, but the parking situation is still a problem, and the parking lots I told them to clean up and remove the weed, trash, and illegal storage from remained the same as the day of our meeting. Since that time, they have made a small effort to remove the trash and illegal storage, but the parking lot still has problems, including a big white shuttle and other vehicles stored on the lot, taking up valuable parking spaces. As near as I can tell, they have not purchased the vacant lot on the southeast corner of Maffitt and Marcus to create more parking spaces. This site has been a lounge called Peter Guns at the location since before I was first elected alderwoman of the 20th Ward in 1991. However, of these 3 addresses at the location, Peter Guns has only used one location. The other 2 addresses were used by a barbershop and another business, both of which closed by 8 p.m. Peter Guns had been the only liquor license. Can someone mute? However, Of the three addresses at the location, Peter Guns has only used one location. The other two addresses were used by a barber shop and another business, both of which closed by 8 p.m. Peter Guns had been the only liquor license at the corner of Marcus and Northland, and we still had some problems with them. However, as the crowd that used the establishment was mostly older and much smaller, we were able to contain the problems from spilling over into the surrounding neighborhood. The circumstances have changed significantly because Janae's operates in 2 of the 3 locations at 2709 through 13 Marcus as a restaurant and full drink bar and is now applying to use the 3rd location as such. Janae's is also not the only liquor license at this location. There's now another liquor license right across the street at the southwest corner of Marcus and Northland in the 2600 block of Marcus. The 2 businesses with liquor license have created problems for the surrounding neighborhood with noise, some trash, party buses, parking, and using the property as though it was in a G neighborhood commercial district instead of a F neighborhood commercial district. The crowds that both establishments draw are mostly not the persons residing in the immediate neighborhood and tend to come from a further distance that requires vehicles to get there and parking lots for them to park. The purpose of the F Neighborhood Commercial District is to establish and preserve those commercial and professional facilities that are especially useful in close proximity to residential areas. The district is designed to provide convenient shopping and servicing establishments for persons residing in the immediate neighborhood to satisfy those basic home and personal shopping and service needs, which occur frequently and so require retail and service facilities in relative proximity to places of residences, so long as such uses are compatible with and do not detract from adjacent residential uses. An expanded bar does not satisfy those basic home and personal shopping and services needs, which occur frequently and so require retail and service facilities in relative proximity to places of residence. Allowing Janae's to expand at this time would not be in the best interest of the surrounding neighborhood and would in fact detract from the adjacent residential use. For the above stated reasons, I cannot at this time support a conditional use for Janae's. Thank you in advance for your consideration. If you have any questions, concerns, please contact me at 314-622-3759, 314-328-5189, or Tyus S at stlewis-mo.gov. Respectfully, Sharon Tyus. Thank you for letting me read that into the record.
Thanks, Catherine. Okay. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
Anthony?
Yes.
Anthony?
Yes.
I have a question for the owner.
Question for the owner?
Yes. I looked at the pictures.
For the alderman or the owner?
The owner.
The owner. Okay.
He's still on. I'm looking at the pictures. Are those parking lots that you say you use, are they paved and striped?
No, they're not paved and striped. They just got gravel on it. And that's what Peter Guns had on the other side. It was already gravel, but not striped.
Okay, that's my question. I'm looking at the pictures and I looked at Google Earth. It didn't look like he had that he has to be paved and striped to be a parking lot.
But we were grandfathered in though.
When we initially went down there, she asked me that, and I said everything is just like it was before we got there. And she looked at it and said she didn't see anything from years back. So she, I guess it can be like it was, because we thought we would have to get it paid, but she said we didn't have to. This is when I actually went, when we first got down there and applied for everything.
Right. But if you take the one across the street, that'll be a new one. You'd have to have that paved and striped if I'm correct. But I'll let you talk to the planning people when you try that. Okay. Just wanted to know. Thank you.
Okay. You need to unmute.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. My name is Sterling Miller, and I'm here to speak in opposition to this request for a conditional use.
Okay, Mr. Miller, let's get you sworn in.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead with your test. Give me your full name and mailing address for the record. Sorry.
All right. My name is Sterling Samuel Miller. I live at 4968 Maffett Place. I'm the 12th Ward Democratic Committeeman. I'm also a member of the City Planning Commission, and I have a background in urban planning. So I grew up in the 4855 Northland, which is the block that you're talking about between Northland and Maffett. So I've seen these businesses in this transition over the years. If we had a 360 camera and took a view of the properties, the residential properties around you will see that they're very few and there's only one or two. This property and their uses have had a deleterious effect on the residential uses. As the years have gone by, as the Alderwoman indicated, we've added another liquor permit, and the city, the highest use, and the ones we need to really protect are the residents. We're losing residents every week, and we're losing them because of nuisances that are not addressed by the city. Peter Guns was there for many years, and as the Alderwoman said, they had an older clientele over the years, and they closed relatively earlier. Later and later, we don't need this business. This is not contributing to the residential fabric of this neighborhood. Now, if they wanted to be an asset to the neighborhood, improving the lots, securing the lots, making sure that grass is cut and that it's an attractive place. But as of now, nobody wants to live next to that. And we're losing residents. And I don't know how to make it clear. The lots are not being utilized. They're full of debris and miscellaneous items that are outdoor storage that are in violation of the building code. So we're asking homeowners to invest and protect their property, but we're letting people come in to use the property for a business that's not crucial. We need schools. Yes, we need some retail, but this is not crucial. But I mean, it's okay. We have restaurants and bars, but they need to contribute and be a asset to the neighborhood where the neighbors are not complaining or feeling threatened or misused. But yeah, so the other thing on the lot is a trailer on that lot. I took that picture this morning, by the way. There is a tractor trailer, is rusted tractor trailer that is sitting on the lot. Nobody wants to park next to that. I mean, if you're coming to a place, you don't want to park next to that. It's not legal in the first place. So that's another thing. You just can't leave an open storage on a lot like that. So I just wish the board would consider that the highest and best use is what the citizens deserve. And it's not, our thoughts are not the business first and the business opportunity. The city is made up of residents and the homeowners that pay their taxes, and we want them to stay. If you take a look around, we're losing property owners because they don't want to stay.
Mr. Sterling, where is
Yes.
this tractor trailer? Is this on the lot next to the building or is it on the one
on the-
across the street?
It's on the one across the street. I took 2 pictures of it. I don't know.
Thank you.
And neither of the lots are improved. So if you improve the lots and make it attractive, well, that would be an asset and the community would feel better about it. But that's not what's happening. It's just a continuation of, oh, that was, and then I heard their point that, oh, we didn't have to do that. That's not the acceptable standard. That's how we got where we are. I don't have to do that. You do what you should do to improve the community and be an asset. Thank you.
I sent the picture, Sam, with the.
Any board members have any questions? Okay. Is there anyone else here in opposition to this appeal? All right, hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial based on the Board of Public Service denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from Planning and Urban Design, copy of the BPS file, letter from petitioner, packet of unanswered emails to Alderwoman Tyus submitted by petitioner, copy of inspections and reports submitted by petitioner, copy of internet reviews submitted by petitioner, a copy of taxes and purchase of property submitted by petitioner, and 77 letters of support submitted by petitioner. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Drea, can you read appeal number 20570?
20570 4770 Highland Avenue.
I'm ready to be sworn in, Julie.
Apologize. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. So again, good afternoon, board members. For the record, my name's Catherine Neiman, zoning plan examiner for the city of St. Louis, representing the building commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to operate an automobile repair and auto sales business, no bodywork, no painting, at 4770 Highland Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis of denial of CKD Auto Sales and Services LLC doing business as CKD Auto concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue an occupancy permit authorizing the petitioner to operate an automobile repair, no bodywork, no painting at 4770 Highland Avenue in city block number 4477.01 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is B, two-family dwelling district. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to, number 2, conserve the values of property throughout the city of St. Louis and protect the character and stability of residential businesses and industrial areas. 6, regulate and restrict the location of use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other uses, and to regulate and restrict the intensity of such uses. The applicable zoning code provisions are as follows. Section 26.16.010, uses prohibited. No structure or land shall be used for a use other than those permitted in the district in which such premises are located unless such use is permitted by other provisions of the zoning code. Evidence of lawful nonconformity have not been presented. So, in summary, the petitioner is applying for an auto repair shop at this address in the B district. Auto repair shops are not an allowed use in the B district, so a use variance from the Board of Adjustment will be needed prior to zoning approval for this application. Also note, the prior use was for auto sales only, no repair, which received a variance with conditions by the Board of Adjustment in 2019. That was appeal number 20253. Next, I'm going to read a letter from the City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency. Against the 2005 Strategic Land Use Plan, the site is located within a neighborhood preservation area within the Strategic Land Use Plan. The granting of a variance is not in keeping with the neighborhood preservation area intent to promote the development of new and rehabilitated of existing commercial uses primarily on the corners of blocks. Against the 2005 Strategic Land Use Plan, the site is located within a medium-intensity neighborhood. The granting of a variance would not be in keeping with the designation's intent of discouraging automobile-oriented commercial uses. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 20569 is not in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Do any of the board members have any questions?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Let's get you sworn in.
Sure.
You raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. State your name and mailing address for the record.
Sure. My name's Kiana Davis, and my mailing address is 4770 Highland Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri 63113, and I reside at 4112 Wright Avenue, St. Anne, Missouri 63074.
Okay, go ahead with your testimony.
Well, my husband and I purchased the building, and it was when we purchased the building, it was already up and running auto sales building. We were purchasing it, and we would like to be able to offer an additional service not only servicing the cars that we like to sell to our different customers, but if someone needs affordable work in the community, I think that would be a great asset to be able to add. So we are asking you all to review it and to allow us to come into your area. My husband is from the neighborhood. He grew up on Cottage, and it will be something so far that we've seen is as long as we've owned the building, we've seen that it's really convenient if someone can come right down the street to get affordable auto repair or to purchase a nice affordable car. And then the other things that we do, we make sure that we do have security camera systems that goes all the way around the building to help with monitoring and helping people and to help with just security issues in the neighborhood. We also work collectively with the different people on the block to keep the alley clean and to keep the street clean, to keep those lots clean. We make sure that we don't make use of being in anyone's way or anything of that nature. So that's basically pretty much what I have to say. Chris, you have anything you want to say?
Okay. Any board members have any questions? Joe?
The information I have indicates the piece of property where the address is here is just kind of the house on the side, and then the big garage is to the side of that.
Yeah, it's a big garage to the right of us, and then to the left is a house, and then it's a fence dividing the house from the building.
Okay, is all that property yours?
No. The garage the garage on the we own the lot on the side of us, but we don't own that garage right there. That garage goes to that property right to the right of it.
Oh, okay. Where do you repair the cars?
We bring them inside the building. We have an open bay inside the building, and we have a lift inside the building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that information because there's no plans being shown.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
No problem.
Yeah, we can drive them in the building.
Okay.
Anthony, we have standard conditions for used car lots. Can we read those to her and see if they can comply with all of them? I'm seeing a couple of things that they don't have there right now.
Sure. Catherine.
Yep, I'll pull this up right now. I also have the conditions that were placed on the Board of Adjustment Appeal number 20253, if you'd like me to read those as well, in addition to the standard conditions of auto
Yes,
sales.
yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so I'll start with the Board of Adjustment Appeal number 20253. The conditions that were placed on that use variance included number 1, appellant shall apply for a sign permit for all existing signage as of the date of the hearing prior to this occupancy or building permit being issued. Number 2, hours of operation shall be limited to 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday per appellant's testimony. Number 3, the applicant shall establish a trash removal contract through a private source for regular pickups and maintain the entire premise in a clean and orderly appearance. Number 4, no outside storage on the premise at any given time. Number 5, premise shall not become designated a nuisance property per ordinance 68535 or its successor ordinances. And then auto sales, new and used, those standard conditions. Or we also have, there's a couple here. We have auto body repair and auto detailing.
No, we're not doing the body.
Let's just do the right now. I'm concentrating on the auto sales because there's things I can see in the pictures that they probably need to address.
Okay. Auto sales, new and used. Number 1, the entire parking/vehicle display area on the exterior of the premises shall be paved and striped. Parking area shall be striped so as to substantially conform to the width and depth of the layout standards for parking spaces as provided in section 26.16.080D of the zoning code. Number 2, parking lot layout shall be submitted to and approved by the zoning administrator before the building or occupancy permit issued. Number 3, vehicles parked on lot shall be in approved parking spaces. All spaces shall be equipped with approved ballards or wheel stops so as to prohibit vehicles encroaching on public right-of-way or private property. Number 4, parking lot layout space shall be labeled vehicles for sale, customer parking, employee parking, or any other uses. If multiple businesses are on this property, spaces shall be labeled for each business separately. Number 5, vehicles owned by petitioner are prohibited from being parked or sold on public streets, alleys, or sidewalks adjacent to the location. Number 6, vehicle access and egress from lot shall only be permitted utilizing established curb cuts or driveways on premises. No access or egress of vehicles shall be permitted across sidewalks or curbs. Number 7, the stringing of lights, flags, or streamers on the premise is prohibited. Number 8, any parking area lighting to be installed shall be installed on metal or masonry poles with underground wiring and shall not exceed 22 feet in height or adjusted so that no more than half a foot candles measured at grade falls on any abutting residential used premises. These improvements shall not be installed until approvals or permits are received from all appropriate city agencies. Number 9, there shall be no exterior signage installed until separate approvals and permits are received by all appropriate city agencies. This shall include mobile commander boards and balloons or tethers. Number 10, exterior amplified intercom systems, phone ringing systems, or music systems are prohibited. Number 11, the existing buildings on the premise, if any, shall be completely repaired and restored to all applicable zoning and building codes. These improvements shall not be installed until approvals and permits are received. There shall be no storage of derelict or salvage vehicles permitted on subject premises or public streets, alleys, sidewalks adjacent to this location. All vehicles shall be in operable condition. I got a couple more. Number 13, there shall be no oh God, I can't. Sorry. Vehicular, mechanical, or body repair or spray painting permitted on subject premises or on public streets, alleys, or sidewalks adjacent to this location. Number 14, there shall be no open storage of auto, mechanical, or body parts, batteries, tires, motor oil, or other automotive fluids of any nature on subject premises or on public streets, alleys, or sidewalks adjacent to this location. Number 15, no salvage of parts from vehicles on the premise. 16 is limiting the hours of operation to your testimony. Number 17, no cord, rope, LED lighting surrounding framing windows or doors. 4 more. 18, the petitioner shall provide a commercial dumpster. 19, the petitioner shall provide a trash container on the exterior of the premise. 20, there shall be no vending, ATM machines, or payphones on the exterior of the premise. And lastly, number 21, the premise shall not be issued a public nuisance notice per ordinance number 68535 or its successor ordinances. And those are all the standard conditions for auto sales, new and used.
Excuse me, I hate to interrupt. I have had a family emergency come up, and so my office is working on another reporter to come in, and it shouldn't take very long. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to stay.
Mr. Chairman, that means that we'll have to recess until such time that the new court reporter gets here.
I'm so
Sorry.
sorry.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Kearns, do you need to leave immediately?
I do need to leave immediately, yes.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, everyone, we will have to recess. At this point in time, we stand in recess until further notice.
Thank you.
Do we just stay on the line?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Robinson, can you hear me?
Yes.
So one option that you could do is the cases that have already been submitted, the board could deliberate and vote on those. The order we do it in obviously usually makes the most sense, but that is a way that we could use this time if you would like.
Okay. Yeah, we can absolutely do that. Okay, let's go back. All right, board members, let's review appeal number 20568.
I have some personal experience with this little quick shop. I've sold some properties directly across the street from there on a couple of different occasions. And I am not a fan of this little store. It is terrible. Every time I've ever been by there, it has been terrible. There have always been people hanging out in front of that, doing drugs, selling drugs. It is not a good place. I am not in favor of allowing this new shop to open up. I also read all of the documents from BPS, and having read all of that and the testimony is conflicting from what they testified at BPS and what was testified today from the appellant and the owner of the store. I don't know that I'm believing everything that was said to us today. And just like the double talk about a liquor license and not wanting a liquor license, not planning on it, yet they went ahead and applied for it that way, even though they said verbally that they did not intend to. But because of the way they applied, they certainly, if we approved it, would be able to do that. I'm not in favor of this at all, and I wanted to voice that.
So you're making a,
I can certainly make an emotion, and I'm ready to do that. I
I'll
just thought we
second.
were in discussion mode.
No, I agree because like I said, there's the part where they
Are
have,
we in deliberations now?
We
We
are
said,
on the first items
yes,
per
Ar-
Archer.
Archer said we could deliberate the ones that we'd already heard while we wait for the new court reporter.
Okay,
correct.
because I was away from my desk. I thought we were in
Yeah.
recess. So can we start over, please?
Um,
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
You have to
We-
repeat everything you said, Mona.
I'm not in
What
favor of
did
this.
you say? I wasn't here.
I was just speaking about the corner store on Virginia and that I was not in favor of moving forward with allowing it because I felt that BPS testimony and testimony today was conflicting. What they said today was different from what they said at BPS.
And I also don't like the fact that that there's an overlay there. Apparently, no liquor or no cigarettes or tobacco, but yet they do have it, and that it's posted for alcohol, and they go, "Oh no, we weren't going to have alcohol or packaged liquor." No, there's too many inconsistencies there. So if you won't make the motion to uphold the BPS, I will. Is that right, Mary? Mary, is that what I do? Uphold the
Yes,
finding?
sir.
That's
I'll
my
second.
All right. Moved by Mel, seconded by Mona. All of those in favor?
aye.
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 All of those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and then
Okay. Appeal number 20569. It's 2909 Marcus Janae's Lounge, Restaurant and Lounge.
I think they need to go back and work on some things that came up today, and then see if they get their lots cleaned up. See if they can get things that were brought up today. See if they can comply with those things to maybe gain the support of the people that were in opposition.
I agree with you, Mel.
So I would just make a motion to table it up to 90 days, up to 90 days to see if they can get these situations resolved with, outside storage, the,
Cleaning up the parking lots,
yeah, stuff like that.
open storage,
Yeah. Yeah,
maintaining their lawns and stuff for the next 90 days without them being overgrown and that kind of thing.
exactly. Just, there are a lot of things were brought up today and I looked at the lot, they said they're using a lot across the street. Well, then maybe the other one was grandfathered in. I don't know. I don't know, Mary, if you can grandfather a gravel lot in or not. I'm not sure. But if they're going to start using the one across the street, they would have to have it striped and paved and striped, correct? That can't be grandfathered in to have something new
So the conditions of parking lots are under the building code. It's not under the zoning code. So I don't want to give you the wrong answer,
okay.
but I believe that you are required to pave and stripe parking lots and that you are not allowed to park on gravel. But that's really going to be the determination of the building inspector because that's a building code issue. That is not a zoning code requirement.
Well, I'd like to just table it till they get all that resolved, up to 90 days to get it resolved.
Okay.
That's my motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion to table for up to 90 days made by Mel, seconded by Mona. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 All of those opposed? Motion carries.
And that brings us back to recess, I guess.
And now we are back in recess until further notice.
Where's the playground?
Archer, thank you for that suggestion. It helped. So I have appointments today.
Yeah.
Let's move in.
Hi, Latasha. We saw you just joined. Are you here with Lexitas, court reporter?
No.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, Michael. I see you've just joined us. Are you here with Lexitas?
I'm sorry, did you say Michael?
Yeah, it says Michael Gartenberg. Is that not your name?
Oh, I had renamed it for my last thing. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't know that was permanent. Sorry. I don't use
Just
him a lot.
all right. Great. Thank you
Um,
for joining us here. I will let you
and
get set up. Do you have any questions or concerns?
I haven't done a board of adjustment in a while, so if I could get the board members.
Yep. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Anthony Robinson is the chairman. And then
Okay.
there's Joe Klitzing, Mona Parsley, Mel DeSimone, and Irene Soul.
I can get those off the website.
Actually, if you put your email in the chat, I can send you something with the agenda and their information.
Oh, I have the agenda. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you looking for like their spellings or?
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
let me put board behind each of the board members' names.
I'm looking at the participants.
All right, yeah, I put the word board behind each of them, and then Mr. Robinson has chairman behind his. I also could type them in if that's helpful to you.
Also, Evan, you'll probably see me on here twice because I switched over to my phone. I have a flight to catch in an hour and a half. So I will share this up through that, not expecting that we would have this hiccup.
All right. Thank you.
I am here.
And where are we starting on the agenda?
We are on the third appeal. Marcus Avenue, sorry. Oh, sorry, Highland Avenue, 4770 Highland, Appeal 20570.
Suppose as ready as I can be.
All right, we appreciate it.
Okay. The Board of Adjustment is now back in session. Uh,
We just had the thing.
yeah, so I'm how do we do this? Catherine, do we continue with appeal number 20570?
Yes, I read that all in, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, you
so
did.
if we want to continue.
Those questions with the applicant,
Yeah, I think we left off with
and we read the
Conditions.
that are
the conditions. Yep. So we left off with questions with the applicant.
So did you hear all the conditions that were set just for the used car lot?
Yes, I did.
Okay, do you have a problem with any of those? Because it appears from the pictures that the lot is not striped yet.
The one on the paved lot, it was previously striped. It's still there. They're fading away, which I'm planning on doing all that. I just wanted to kind of get through this part first before we start actually keep putting more money into the property as far as getting that lot paved and striped all over again. But it is stripes on there. I know it looks a little old and worn as far as those stripes on there, but they are on there.
How about the wheel stops? I saw where we're going up to the street that didn't have the wheel stops.
The wheel stops, I can add those. That's no problem.
Now, what about the repair shops? Do we have conditions for a repair shop?
We do. We have conditions for auto body repair, auto detailing, and auto repair.
It'll just be the auto repair. She said there's no body shop, no body work.
Okay, so auto repair, and there's 11 of them. I can read them into the record if you'd like as well.
Yes, I'd appreciate that because she's going to have to be the one to listen to those to make sure she can comply.
Okay. So, number 1, a petitioner must obtain the proper permits from the City of St. Louis for any proposed signage. Number 2, petitioner shall properly dispose of all hazardous materials. Number 3, there shall be no vending, ATM machines, or payphones on the exterior of the premise. Number 4, there shall be no outside storage on the premise at any given time. Number 5, there shall be no overnight outside storage on the premise at any given time. If a vehicle must remain overnight for any reason, it must be stored inside of the garage. 5A states if outside storage is needed, overnight outside storage shall be limited to blank amount of vehicles at any given time. Number 6, there shall be no bodywork or spray painting on the premise at any given time. Number 7, hours of operation, and then we would condition it per your testimony. Number 8, there shall be no cord or rope type LED lighting framing the windows. Number 9, the stringing of lights, flags, or streamers on premise is prohibited. 10, exterior amplified intercom systems or phone ringings systems are prohibited. And then 11, the premise shall not be issued a public nuisance notice per ordinance 68535 or its successor ordinances. And that's for auto repair. Standard conditions.
So in general, we're going to ask you what your hours of operation were going to be, days, hours, stuff like that.
Yes, so our proposed hours would be beginning at 8 a.m., closing by 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. We will be open by appointment only on Saturdays and close on Sundays.
You have a trash dumpster?
I have them in the building, but the other commercial dumpsters, I haven't had to use those because all we do with those parts, if we end up needing to go take them, we take them to a recycle yard and let them dispose of them. We go through them.
Okay, do you have a way to dispose of like tires and oil and stuff like that?
Yes, and we don't do tires.
Okay. How many cars would you have on the lot at any given time?
I would prefer not to leave any outside, but if we needed to, our parking space is only a lot for 4.
Is that the same for the used car lot also?
As far as outside,
Yeah.
yes.
Tony or Anthony, you have something?
I do not. Are you okay with all of the conditions that have been read in?
Oh, I am. I just was making sure I understood. But only thing I didn't understand, what he just kind of answered for me, was where it was saying how many cars will we be allowed to have on the lot, or how many will we not. That's the only point I wanted to make sure I was clear on, so that I can make sure that we're complying with you guys' conditions.
So that would be determined based on the number of spaces you have striped.
Okay. Okay, and that was 4, correct? It's more than 4. How many was it? You sure?
About 5 spaces.
Oh, it's 5. Okay, I'm sorry. He just corrected me. It's 5 spaces that are striped. So would you
Okay.
all be okay with that? Or, I mean, we wouldn't typically leave 5 cars out, but those are the amount of spaces that are outside striped.
We couldn't answer that at this
Oh,
point.
okay. Okay. I got you.
Okay. Any other board members have any questions?
Yeah. Did she ever say how many employees she had?
Right at this point, it's just myself and my husband. We don't have any employees just yet.
Mm-hmm.
We
Okay.
we do in the future. We do look to have employees once we get to that time frame where we can afford to have employees and that our business is going a little bit better. And we also are looking into typically getting some type of mentorship program where teaching young guys how to be able to come and learn how to just maintain their vehicles and things like that. But that's in our near future. Right now, it's just my husband and myself.
All right.
Okay. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal?
I am. I'm Juliet Hudson Campbell at 4754 Highland.
Okay, Juliet, we need to get you sworn in.
Okay.
Do I do that or do you do that?
I'm sorry?
You do that.
I need to do what?
We're
No,
working on
you.
getting you sworn in. And typically we
okay.
have the court reporter swear in the petitioners.
Ma'am, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Now state your name and mailing address for the record.
Okay, my name is Juliet Hudson-Campbell, 4754 Highland Avenue.
Okay. Go ahead with your testimony.
Okay, I'm in favor of them being there. They help out keeping the neighborhood clean. They are a very respectful young couple that's trying to make it, and they enhance the neighborhood. The building is always neat. There's no derelict cars parked around it. Never on the weekends do I see any cars outside. And so only time you see them is maybe in the daytime. And that's good because the neighborhood has changed. And this is going to enhance our neighborhood for this young couple to want to come in and purchase a building and do something positive with. And I'm hoping that we'll continue to get more and that the city of St. Louis will take care of those derelict properties that we have where homeless people have come and tried to move into those houses around there, right on that street. And no one puts them out or anything. It's dangerous for our children to walk back and forth to school. And I would like them to stay and perhaps the city look at the houses that have been abandoned by people and determine what they can do with them, possibly sell them if the homeless people don't tear them up any further. And I am a homeowner, so I would like to see this, Chris and his wife and many more come in and bring some positivity to the neighborhood and the city of St. Louis. Thank you.
Okay. Do any board members have any questions? All right. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in
Yeah.
opposition to this appeal?
No, I'm Danny Campbell. I was trying to get in. You hear me now?
Okay, Mr. Campbell, yes. Are you in favor or
In favor.
opposition of this appeal?
I'm
Okay.
in favor.
All right, let's get you sworn in, Mr. Campbell.
Okay.
Sir, would you raise your right hand?
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, state your name and mailing address for the record.
All right. I'm Danny Campbell. I live 4754 Highland. And I agree with them moving there because it's like three of us that clean that alley. I can call Chris the fourth one. We clean that alley and the front street once a month. And as far as the business go, I never seen anything go wrong there, and it's always quiet, and they're very polite. He's always polite. And as far as he watches our neighborhood, because we had crazy people just trying to cut our phone lines, and went for Chris one day hollering at me to holler at these people because it takes anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes for the police to come. We wouldn't have telephone lines. People just lost their minds. So hopefully you let some good people like that come in with the businesses and we can build this neighborhood back up. So thanks a lot, Chris, and I hope they let you in.
All right. Any board members have any questions? Okay. Is there anyone else here in favor of this appeal? All right. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition of this appeal?
I cannot raise my hand all of a sudden. It will not. Here it is.
Yes, Alderwoman. Let's get you sworn in again.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I affirm.
Okay, and then state your name and mailing address again for the record.
Okay, and so I live at, I actually live at 4968 Maffett Place, which is 2 blocks away, 63113. But my mailing address for as a member of the Board of Aldermen is 1200 Market, room 230, 63103.
All right, go ahead with your testimony.
First of all, I want to say I'm pleased to hear the people on the street speak so highly of the young people. I haven't heard from them. But what I have heard from is some people that live on Highland is a different kind of street. Part of it is an alley and part of it is a street. And what I heard from was the people on Couples who had been calling me about problems that had been going on both Couples and Highland for years now. And it all goes back to when they split our community down the middle, putting the west side of Euclid into what was the 20th Ward and the 1st, and then putting the east side of Euclid to Marcus into what was the 4th Ward. And when the people talk about the difference in the neighborhood, it is shocking. It is horrible. There's trash every place. There's people of mattresses. Since I've picked it up 2 years ago, I've been begging the police to respond to people. I have been sending forestry. They had probably 200 tires near this location that I thought was coming from this location because I didn't know what they did. I knew they were operating on cars that I had to have removed in the area. So I understand that the people are feeling like something is better than nothing at all because they haven't had anything at all. What I'm concerned about is that this becoming a place for auto repairs and car sales, because that was not what it was built for. This particular building was built back years ago by Mr. Terry Marzette, whose family lived on the block. And they had a house, and they had both that place where they're doing the sales and next door the garage. And then they had houses on both sides of them. And it was Mr. Marzette used that as a place to store his commercial trucks because he was in construction. But it was a clean neighborhood with a residents living in all the properties. It was not vacant except for one of the old houses down at the end in the 4700 block. And it really is a tale of two cities if you cross to the east side of Euclid and the west side of Euclid. However, my job is to try to clean that up, which is a very big task because nobody understands how there can be such a difference just by crossing the street, but there is. And the reason that I started going down Highland is because people were talking about the problems and the people that were repairing cars illegally and the tow trucks sitting on the street and the things that were dumped. And so nobody talked to me about anything positive. And this is the first thing I've ever heard, first time I ever heard of it is on this, Zoom chat right now. So that gives me pause because I am not in support of it. The young couple I didn't talk to, they hadn't called me. But it gives me pause when I hear people saying such positive things about them. So what I'm going to say is we already had automobile sales there. That might be something I'm going to change in my letter and say I can support. I do not support the automobile repair there in any way, shape, or form because we have to go back and try to clean this neighborhood up. And I'm in the process right now. I have tore down about 45 houses in the 4700 blocks of Kingsway East neighborhood from Natural Bridge all the way over to Martin Luther King because of the blight and horrible conditions that has existed for the last 20 years while they were in the Fourth Ward. And we actually are putting in a plan to build new houses. And you don't attract new houses when you do residential and you're trying to get residential areas and you're having car repairs and things like that. Now, I heard the young lady say that they had a lift inside the building. But when I went there, I saw them repairing myself cars outside the building, and cars are stored outside. I don't know at night because I don't go down the alleys or the streets that late at night, but they are stored. And if you look at the pictures, they're lined up and stored. But I can't tell you that they're out there at night. I will go out and see, but I do not support there being a car repair. I will support a car sales, and that's my position.
Okay. Any board members have any questions for the Alderwoman? All right. Is there?
Can I say one other thing, please, sir?
Go ahead.
Mrs. Tyson, with regard to car repairs, would you support car repairs if they agreed to do all of them inside the building?
I would have to talk to the neighbors. That's something I wouldn't do without talking to the surrounding neighbors. I'm glad to hear these two people say such good things, but the people who originally called me are not those two people, and I would not be comfortable with that. I'm comfortable in the sales thing, and I will have a meeting with them. If the neighbors said that's something they could live with, okay. But I do have a bigger plan, which is to put housing back there where people live in, which is what our neighborhood used to look like until 2001 when they tore it up. It used to be all residential, all of it.
Right, right. Do you have a source for that new construction there?
Do I have a source?
Right, you said your plan is to put new construction back.
Oh, I've been to that's why Mr. Miller's on planning, because we're putting the plan together, because he is a certified planner. But also, if you want the records from LRA, I've been to LRA 2 years ago. I can give you the list of all the buildings we've been tearing down. You don't get to build new buildings when you have so much blight. And that's what I inherited after 20 years. I can bring you to my neighborhood, and right across on the east side of Euclid, it looks like you fell off the earth. And then if you go to the west side of Euclid, it's big houses that you would see in any upper middle class neighborhood where people live.
I'm
And the
familiar.
difference has been, right. And that's really hard. So you have to, what we're doing now is we're tearing down. And if you want it, I can submit to you that we've torn those down. And I'm talking to several people, including Kingsway Neighborhood Development. I'm talking to, at one point, I got a thing from WashU, which is where I attended law school, because they do redevelopment in certain neighborhoods. I've talked to, I've talked to some, in fact, I have an offer to buy all the vacant properties that can be rehabbed from a young man right now who rehabs property, and he wants to be in my neighborhood because he see I've been tearing them down. And his name is Mr. Let me give you his name because I'm not good sometimes. So much is going on with me. His name is Mr. and I can even send you his text. His Vernon Gentry is a young man that's rehabbing it, has been doing it in Atlanta. And now he doesn't want to do the new houses. He wants to do the rehab, but only because I've been tearing them down and getting it cleaned up and getting it to a plan. You can't just start building new houses when it's been decimated like that. And that's what's happening.
No, I
Yeah,
understand. That's why I was asking if you had someone that was ready to go with new construction there. That was my question.
Well, not right now. What I'm saying is that I'm saying I've been preparing the streets. So we've been going down each street, tearing them down, because it's hard for people to say, I want to build next to that vacant, burned down property next door.
I understand. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
May I say something? I'm Juliet Hudson Campbell. I would like to speak for a moment, please.
Miss Hudson Campbell, are you you in favor?
Oh yeah, I'm in favor. I just wanted to say something to Miss Tyus, Sharon Tyus. My grandparents.
No, we can't be doing that on the Board of Adjustment meeting.
Okay, but she's more than able to call me.
Miss Campbell, we
Campbell.
can't take any testimony from you until you've been sworn in. And you cannot speak to the alderwoman, you're to speak to the board.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got you.
So my question for you, Miss Campbell, is are you looking to testify in favor or
She's already testified, Mr. Robinson.
I've already testified.
Okay. So yeah, well then beyond that, yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to tell Miss Tyus that is not
Miss
Prince's
Campbell,
shop.
Miss Campbell, you cannot.
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll get in touch with her. No problem.
Could I have my phone number listed in the chat for her to reach out to me?
Can we do that, Evan?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me give you access.
Okay, and I did want to say one other thing, if I may. So I was already warned by you, Mr. Robinson, about that I better return my phone calls, and I don't. I do not return emails and phone calls once I've met with somebody. I spend a couple of hours. I have 12 neighborhoods, not 3 like I used to. I spend a couple of hours with people. If I meet with them, I give them in writing what I require. If you don't do it, I don't have time to come back and meet 20 times and you keep chatting with me and chatting me up. Because if you can't do what you basically said you were going to do and you're asking me, I'm not ever going to keep getting on that telephone returning the calls because I don't have that kind of time. If I would invite any of you all to spend a day with me when I start out at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I just want to say that because I'm going to write you a letter about this whole thing about if people can get in contact with me. She met with me. The other person did. These people right here, if they want to, I'll meet with them. But I don't have 10 and 12 meetings and I don't chat back and forth because I would never get anything done because I do have a bigger ward, and I have a bigger plan about getting things done. And I've built grocery stores and schools and things like that, not by staying on the phone and chatting up and emailing with people back and forth. So I am busy and I can't do that. So if you want to meet with me, I'll meet with you. And then you can email me and say, I got the things done, and I'll come by and see them. So I just want you to know it's not because I don't see emails. There's none that says I've done what I asked you to do.
Thank you, Alderwoman.
Okay, now can I put I can.
It's already up in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, she can call me on my cell phone, and it comes right to my iPad. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
No problem. Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition of this appeal? All right. Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibit. Certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, and memo from Planning and Urban Design. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Drea, can you read appeal number 20541?
Appeal number 20541, 3648 Hebert Street.
And I'm ready to be sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. So good afternoon, board members. Again, for the record, my name is Catherine Neiman, zoning plan examiner for the city of St. Louis, representing the building commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to add patio seating to an existing full drink bar, no cooking at 3648 Hebert Street. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis of denial of Hearn's Lounge Incorporated doing business as Hearn's Lounge concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue an occupancy permit authorizing the petitioner to operate a bar with outdoor seating at 3648 Hebert Street in city block number 2390 is as follows. Present zoning for this address is B, two-family dwelling district. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to conserve the values of property throughout the city of St. Louis and protect the character and stability of residential, business, and industrial areas, and to regulate and restrict the location of use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other uses, and to regulate and restrict the intensity of such uses. The applicable zoning code provisions are as follows. Per section 26.16.010, uses prohibited. No structure or land shall be used for a use other than those permitted in the district in which such premises are located unless such use is permitted by other provisions of the zoning code. And then per section 26.24.020S, use regulations and conditional use summary. And section 26.24.020 and or 26.24025 state use regulations and conditional uses of the B two-family dwelling district do not allow this appellant's proposal as stated above. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. And so in summary, the petitioner is applying for an occupancy permit to add patio seating to an existing full drink bar, no cooking, located in the B district. Bars are not permitted in the B district, therefore a use variance is required prior to approval. In 2023, a use variance and area variance were issued for the construction of a 30 by 30 carport to be used by an existing non-conforming lounge as outside seating. The occupancy permit is an expansion of use within an outdoor patio of 83 feet by 46 feet per their application and as set by the inspector after site visits. On September 11th, 2024, Board Member DeSimone made a motion to table appeal number 20541 for up to 90 days to allow the petitioner to speak with the alderperson and/or neighborhood association. And then lastly, I will read a letter from the Planning and Urban Design Agency. Against the 2005 Strategic Land Use Plan, the site is located within a regional commercial area within the sloop. The RCA describes areas where the development of existing commercial uses intended to serve a regional clientele should be encouraged. The granting of the variance is not in keeping with the RCA's intent, but also not in direct conflict. Against the 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan, the site is located within a medium-intensity neighborhood. The granting of the variance would be in keeping with the designation's intent of supporting many types of retail that serve the immediate neighborhood, including bars and restaurants of an appropriate scale located on corner of blocks. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 20541 is not in conflict with the city's comprehensive plan. Do any board members have any questions?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant. Ms. Hearns.
Yes.
Okay, let's get you sworn in.
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your name and mailing address for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Jennifer Hearns Turner. My address is 3648 Hebert Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63107. Hello?
Mr. Robinson, are you able to hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then, Ms. Hearns, I believe you're able to proceed with your testimony.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Again, my name is Jennifer Hearns. I am the owner of Hearns Lounge, which is located at 3648 Hebert. I am requesting at this time to have my occupancy permit updated to include my outdoor seating. As stated when you gave your testimony, that we've already been granted a variance. We have met and or exceeded all of the city building and fire safety standards that have been set forth by St. Louis City. We have positive relationships with our neighbors. We have positive relationships with the other leaders in the community as well. We also have had great initiatives in moving forward with having neighborhood cleanups and just adhering and working towards the beautification of our neighborhood. So at this time, we feel that having use of our outdoor patio space would be actually an asset to the community and the neighborhood. The way we keep our building, the grounds around it are evident just by driving around. We've invested a lot of money and time and energy in making sure that we keep things the way that they should be and actually continue to be an asset to the community. Hearns Lounge has been in business for over 50 years. There has never been any instances of criminal action where the police were not a nuisance in any way, of the police being called or anything like that. We're just a community bar that is my inheritance from my father that we're trying to keep in place and make sure that we meet the guidelines of St. Louis City.
Ms. Hearns, how many seats will you have in the outside area?
The seats in the outside area, based upon fire safety, I have been in contact with the fire safety person, the person over that board, and I can have like approximately 150 seats.
Wow. Will you have music out there?
Yes, sir, I do. I have music, but the music is discontinued at approximately 10 p.m. out of respect for my neighbors.
And when do you close the patio?
The patio actually closes at 10 p.m.
Oh, okay. Do you have a trash container out there or two? If you got 150 people.
Absolutely. We have several trash receptacles in the back, and I also have a commercial dumpster that I pay for that is immediately behind my building.
Do you have enough restroom facilities to handle that many people?
Yes, sir, I do. I typically do not have that many people there at one time. That was just the capacity that St. Louis City gave me. I have indoor bathrooms, and I also purchased outside portable bathrooms for the uses of the customers on the patio.
Okay. Those were my questions.
How many employees do you have?
I have at this time 11 employees.
And what are your hours of operation?
Hours of operation are Monday through Saturday to approximately 11 p.m., but 10 o'clock is the cutoff time for the patio during those days. And on Sunday, we don't open until 2 p.m. and we close at 10 p.m.
What did you say? Monday through Saturday?
Monday through Saturday? Yes, ma'am. Monday through Saturday, hours of operation, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
7 a.m. What? Okay.
Okay. Any other board members have any questions?
I have one more. Do you have a paved parking lot?
No, sir, I do not. However, I have an ongoing relationship with a business directly behind me where I am able to use their parking lot for my customer parking. And on that parking lot, it's gated, it's totally paved. The lines are on it where the parking spaces are evident, and I have access to that anytime I need to use it for my customers.
Okay. What's my next question? How many spaces are there?
It's over 60.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Any other board members have any questions? All right. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal?
I am. My name is Joy.
Okay, Joy, let's get you sworn in.
And would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right. State your name and mailing address for the record.
My name is Joy Hadley. My mailing address is 3648 Hebert Street, St. Louis, Missouri.
All right. Go ahead with your testimony.
Hello, my name is Joy Hadley. I am the manager of Hearns Lounge, the property in question, and I have been the manager there for approximately 4 years. And in that time, Ms. Hearns and I, we have made tremendous improvements to the building. We have replaced the fencing. We have upgraded our patio area to make it suitable and safe for our patrons. We have made rehab work done inside the bar. We make sure that we maintain the areas around the bar, the grounds around the bar. We pay staff to clean, to make sure that everything is presentable for the neighborhood. In comparison to some of the other bars that are located within walking distance, I would say that Hearns Lounge is immaculate in comparison to those other establishments. We make contact with our neighbors. We talk with them. We, converse with them all the time. Our direct neighbor right next door to us, he's always, friendly. He's willing to help out. We're willing to help him out. When we make changes or improvements to our establishment, we keep him informed to let him know, what we're doing and what we plan to do, and whether or not, he needs to do anything on his end. We'll upkeep his property in addition to upkeeping our property, just because we are neighbors. I would say that being in business for as long as we have, we're known to just be a good local, community bar. Some of our neighbors would realize, hey, I know your regular customers. I see your regular customers, and we get along with everyone. And I would say that having that additional seat in the back, especially with us being permitted the permit to build that pavilion in the back patio area, would just be an additional asset to the area, additional entertainment for people in the community so they can come and just have a good time. And so I would say I am proud to be a member of Hearns Lounge, just because I feel that we have set the bar for other establishments to be like a guide. So what they should do to be in compliance with city regulations. And that's all I have to say at this time.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? All right. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? All right, hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits. Certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of meeting notice letter, city journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from planning and urban design, copy of the Board of Adjustment file for the carport, email from Fire Safety Supervisor Joe Kovac, email from John McLaughlin, Nuisance Problem Properties, email from Vicki Robinson, Tabernacle Development, with photos dated August 12th, 2024. Second email from Vicki Robinson, Tabernacle Development, with photos dated August 26th, 2024. Third email from Vicki Robinson, Tabernacle Development, with photos dated September 10th, 2024. 3 photos submitted by attorney David Bohm. Copy of the building permit, excuse me, to install prefab aluminum and Steel Carport, copy of the proceedings from appeal number 11808, a letter of support for the carport from Alderwoman Laura Keys, Google Earth maps submitted by Attorney Hall. Sorry. Twice. Copy of parking lot use agreement with Mount Herald Missionary Baptist Church and Hearns Lounge Inc. Signed 6/21/24. Photos of streets around Hearns Lounge submitted by Attorney Hall. Photos and property information for 3715 North Grand Boulevard. Photos and property information for 3701 Sullivan Avenue. Photos and property information for 3501 Cox's Avenue. Letter of support from Derek Collis. Copy of the proceedings from September 11th, 20. Dates September 11th, 2025, but I believe that should read September 11th, 2024. Meeting notice letter for April 16th, 2025. City Journal public notices for April 16th, 2025. Photographs for April 16th, 2025. Sanmar maps for April 16th, 2025. Memo from Planning and Urban Design for April 16th, 2025. Email from John McLaughlin with 4 photos attached, dated October 18th, 2024. Email from John McLaughlin with 4 photos attached, dated October 21st, 2024. Email from John McLaughlin with 5 photos attached, dated November 12th, 2024. Letter of support from Alderwoman Keys. And a renewal contract agreement for parking. Letter from Frederick Searcy Jr. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. And this concludes our testimonial portion of the hearing. We will now go into our deliberations.
Oh, Mr. Robinson, we have one more appeal.
Oh, we do?
We
sorry.
do.
I'm
It is
sorry. I'm sorry. Drea, can you read appeal number 11927? Sorry about that.
Number 11927, 3505 Gravenoy Avenue.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. All right, one last time, good afternoon, board members. My name's Catherine Neiman, zoning plan examiner for the city of St. Louis, representing the building commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to the Board of Public Services decision to revoke a conditional use permit with conditions that authorize the petitioner to operate an existing carry-out sit-down restaurant with a convenience store with no outside seating and no liquor at 3505 Gravois Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. So the Board of Public Services revocation letter states, Dear Mr. L. Farsi, on December 3rd, 2024, per section 26.100.030 of the revised code of the City of St. Louis, the Board of Public Service voted to revoke conditional use permit number 130808-RH issued to Sam's Southern Eatery, care of Zakaria El Farsi, to occupy 3505 Gravois Avenue, to operate an existing carryout sit-down restaurant, adding a convenience store with no outside seating and no liquor. Conditional use permit number 130808 is hereby revoked by order of the Board of Public Service on December 3rd, 2024. Any person or persons jointly agreed by any decision by the Board of Public Service or any officer, department, board, or bureau of the municipality may appeal this decision to the Board of Adjustment per section 26.84.04 or 040, of the revised code of the City of St. Louis. Such appeal must be filed within 30 days. This appeal is made by completing the attached Board of Public Service and Board of Adjustment appeal form. Respectfully, Michelle Knox, Secretary of the Board of Public Service. The petitioner then appealed the decision from the Board of Public Service. I'm going to now read that letter into the record. Comes now Zakaria El Farsi and says that on the 3rd day of December 2024, a conditional use permit was revoked by the Board of Public Service that authorized the operation of Sam's Southern Eatery at 3505 Gravois Avenue. The Board of Public Service revoked the conditional use permit for said occupancy as stated above, and the petitioner hereby appeals from the revocation of the permit for the following reasons. I have been in business for 3 years. We have never had any problems, and he would like one last chance. My $200 appeal form is attached, and I understand this fee is not refundable. This 12th day of December 2024. Signed by the owner and the appellant. So in summary, on October 1st, 2024, the Board of Public Service held a hearing to consider the revocation of the conditional use permit. To operate an existing carryout sit-down restaurant, adding a convenience store with no outside seating and liquor. At that time, there were 5 out of 17 conditions being violated. The Board of Public Service tabled said revocation for 60 days to allow time to reconcile the issues, and that was rescheduled to the 3rd day of December 2024. An investigation was conducted on December 2nd, 2024 for compliance, and there were 2 out of the 17 conditions still being violated. On December 3rd, the Board of Public Service voted to revoke the conditional use permit, and then the petitioner is now appealing that decision to the Board of Adjustment, which brings us here today. Do any of the board members have any questions?
You know what the 2 conditions they had not complied with are?
Yes. It's condition number 4, there shall be no sale of tobacco products, and the violation was that there were pipes, bongs, all the tobacco and vapes were gone, but it looks like the pipes and bongs were still there. And then number 15, all windows and doors must have no boards, mesh, grates, materials, or coverings of any kind. The violation was there were gaming machines blocking the windows.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board members?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant.
Zachariah, if you're on the call, please unmute.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, let's get you sworn.
Good afternoon. Okay, let's get you sworn in.
Sir, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Well, your testimony.
Mr. Farsi. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I appreciate that you guys giving me another chance to come here today and speak and tell you exactly what I did.
Mr. Farsi, I need you to state your name and mailing address for the record.
Yes, my name is Zakaraya El Farsi. My address is 6130 Southwest Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay. Now go ahead with your testimony.
Again, I appreciate the chance you guys giving me today to come and talk and see what the improvement I did for the store and what the changes. Then I changed everything, all the violation. I corrected the bars and the doors. That was like one of the violations. And the windows, I took them all. The tobacco, there is no tobacco products at all. The last hearing, there was some kind of glass. It concerned like a tobacco product. I didn't like make attention that's gonna be like in the tobacco, so I did removed it all. Then the parking lot, there is no trash in the parking lot, everything being clean. I do have security. I have cameras. I have a security company. They are at the store, especially like evenings. I'm not gonna say morning, but the evenings, like from 3 to close. That I always have security company. So I try to keep the store safe. Right now, we don't have no problems, no violations, no people selling no drugs, no people like lottery outside the business. We kept everything clean and clear. Then about the violation again for the signage, I already had my permit for the signage, for especially the signage that it has to be in the building, like food pictures. Back then, I didn't know that I needed like a permit for the signage too. So I got the permit for those two. And for the neighborhood association, I really appreciate them. They came special to the store and they got a look at the store. They did a walk and they see like all the things that have been corrected. And I was hoping I did like my part to keep in the neighborhood and still keeping like serving our customers. And I always try to do like the best. And they've been there for the business like it's going to be like 4 years right now. The incident happened back then, like I guess like 7, 8 months. It was a shooting that it was a big miss for the community. I know then, but we didn't have nothing to do about it. I explained it to the neighborhood association exactly what happened when that shooting happened in the parking lot, not even inside the store. It caused the death of one of the lady, which is like, it was one of our best customers. She was always there. And I'm so sorry for that. We couldn't do anything. And we tried. Now we have like securities. We have cameras outside, like 24 hours cameras outside. So we try to do everything like for the neighborhood to keep that location like safe and keep serving our customers the food that they love for it. That's all I can say.
Mr. Farsi, what are your hours of operation?
We open at 11 in the morning to 10 p.m.
7 days a week?
Yes, sir.
You have a trash dumpster?
Yes, we do have a commercial trash dumpster, and we have a trash next to the door for people when there's some people like they like to eat their food in the parking lot when they throw it outside the door trash can. That's we empty it every night.
Is your parking lot paved?
Yes, we have like lines, parking lines, yellow, for like it's making space for each cars to be like organized.
Okay. Those are my questions.
How many employees do you have?
I have 3 employees.
Mr. Farsi,
Yes, sir.
How many employees do you have?
Yes, yes. I do have 3 employees, including me. So which is like 4 total.
Okay. Any other board members have any questions? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Yes,
Okay.
hello.
Yes.
Yes,
What's
I
your name?
work at Liban Yusuf.
What's your name?
Liban Yusuf.
Lee,
I'm sorry.
we need you to be sworn in.
Yes,
Sir, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
For
Now,
the
sir,
record, could we get the spelling of his name, please?
yeah, well, yeah, I was gonna, go ahead.
LIBAN YUSUF.
Okay, could you, I can barely hear you. Could you please
Yeah.
speak up a little louder?
Oh, sorry. LIBAN
Okay,
YUSUF.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Go ahead with your testimony.
I'd just like to say that I have been working there for the past few years. And since we've been open, we never had any problems, no drama, no fights, no police call. And the neighborhood does love us. We do accommodate good food. And that incident that happened is things that happen around the city all the time. Bad things happen anywhere, at any time. But we didn't expect that to happen. And we're very, very sorry that that happened, because that is hurtful. And someone loved one is gone now. But other than that, we did upgrade everything. We did upgrade the bars. We removed them. We got security. He makes sure nobody just hangs out. So everything is kind of upgraded. That's one of the things that I like to say. Like, local wise, everybody loves us. We have things that when families that can't have cars or don't have a way of traveling, makes it easy access for them. Or stores that close early, they don't have no way to get to them. We're right there for them. It's very convenient.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? All right. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition of this appeal? Okay. Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial on the Board of Public Service decision to revoke conditional use permit, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, and a copy of the BPS file. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Now, at this time, that ends our testimonial portion of the hearing. We will now go into deliberations.
I can log off.
Yes, you may.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've already done what? The first two or the first
Yes.
three?
We did the
First
first
two.
two.
Okay, number three, which is
20570.
That's the auto shop and the repair shop.
that's the auto sales that wants to do repairs, which
Correct.
they were doing on the cars that they bought.
If you have an ID, get it out, please.
And now they're asking if they can expand their business by doing it for the public, correct? That's basically what we're talking about.
I think so.
Well, you got one mechanic and one bay to work in. I don't think it's going to expand too much. Only thing I would request is that no cars are parked overnight, which I think they said they parked their cars that they for sale inside the garage at night. And any repairs that they do have to be picked up before midnight or whatever. So there's no cars parked on their lot overnight. That's the only thing that I would look for. I don't think it's going to become an auto zone or anything like that. I mean, we have two options here. We basically say, no, you can't do this, which you could still leave them alone and they could still sell the cars and fix the cars that they have or that they bought, status quo, or
Get a table it, let them go talk to the older person, and then maybe they get it all resolved.
It doesn't sound to me like she's gonna approve it under any circumstances. To me, she doesn't want it. I don't think tabling it and talking to the older woman's gonna make any difference based on what she said.
well, if she wants to take the property and do the big plan down the road, it's called eminent domain and they have to pay the right of price to get it. So that would be my response to that. I mean,
Yeah, if there's no outdoor storage and they keep the lot in good, clean condition, why wouldn't somebody want to live around there? You know, not to become a nuisance. And
was the older person, she was the only one that testified against it, wasn't it?
Yes.
correct.
So I make a motion to approve, to tell you the truth.
In my notes, her testimony was that she didn't support the auto repair. Did I have that?
Yeah.
That was it. She didn't
Just
support
the
expanding.
Cars.
She didn't support the expanding of it to the public. Because it was approved originally for the sales, car sales and repair of those cars that they bring on, those cars.
I apologize. Are they repairing other people's cars or just their cars?
Just their
I was-
cars now, that's all they're approved for. What they're here for is to approve to do other people's cars.
Right. If you approve this, then anyone will be able to take their car there.
Right. And my point on it is there's only one mechanic. There's only one bay to work on cars. It's not like he's gonna have lined up and down the street and not be able to do it. He's gonna have to do it to where the job is done in a day and it's not parked on the street or in front of the building. And the 3 cars that they're selling, they put them in the garage.
And we should say all repairs done inside?
Yeah, I don't have any trouble with that.
Okay, I can second that.
So you need to be clear exactly what your motion is, Mr. Klitzing. There's a lot of moving parts here. There's an
Okay.
existing variance with existing conditions, and
Those
then
all
if
stay in
there,
place?
let me finish.
Okay,
And
sorry.
then there are 2 sets of standard conditions that were read. So you guys are going to be considering 3 sets of conditions, and you need to tell us exactly which ones you would like on your motion.
Well, she listened. The person that was testifying listened to the 3 or the 2 standard ones, and she said she had no problems with any of those. And the only conditions that, well, what's the other one? There was standard, there were other conditions put on it before, correct?
Right, there were existing conditions from the existing,
The only one that I would change here, Mary, is to say that they could do the public's cars. Everything else stays in place.
they could do the what? I'm
They
sorry.
can do the public's repairs, repairs
Okay.
for public. That's what I would say is the only thing that I would change.
So, Catherine, do you have the existing variance to see if there is a condition on there that would say no auto repair?
Sure. The existing, there's 5. It speaks to applying for a sign permit, lists the hours of operation. Applicant shall establish a trash contract, no outside storage, and then will not become a nuisance. So it doesn't talk to the
address.
fact of
Okay.
repairs. And the hours were the hours of the existing condition is from 8 to 2, Monday through Friday.
So we heard testimony that she's open 8 to 3 Monday through Friday and appointments only on Saturday. So does that mean you want to amend that existing condition out of hours? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. And then all the standard conditions of both
Other 2,
that
yeah,
aren't already on here of both auto repair and auto sales.
correct.
Okay.
And I can add a new one, can
Sure.
I? Okay. Let's see, Mona, what did we discuss?
We discussed all repairs inside.
All repairs to be done inside. No cars to be left overnight, repaired cars for the public.
Outside.
You can't use that as a parking lot out front. And
So
all
no
cars,
cars outside overnight.
correct. All cars at the establishment need to be parked inside the garage.
Yeah, that was us.
Overnight.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's Anthony? Give us an announcement here. It was my motion. Mona seconded it. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I think we got them all.
Good.
Okay.
Finding.
As conditioned will not be a detriment. Which one do we do next?
Ebert?
Hebert?
Yeah, Mr. Robinson just announced it. Can you hear him?
Yes.
Okay. So we're on 20541. That's 6448 Hebert Street.
Yeah. Right.
I like this place. They seem like they were
So
running.
somebody remind me, this has been continued from 9/11/24. So when it was continued, did the board specifically ask for anything from the applicant? Is that in the continue letter, Catherine? You might see it in the file, you or Dre.
Right. So it states on September 11th, board member Desimone made a motion to table to allow for 90 days to allow the petitioner to speak with the alderperson and or neighborhood associate organization. They did not ask for anything specific.
And we don't have anything from that alderman or the neighborhood association since that last hearing that it was continued from.
Since the last hearing that it was continued from, we have a letter of support from the alderwoman Laura Keys.
Okay.
And this is a parking agreement that was sent in for evidence as well.
Okay, thank you.
Board members?
I got no problem with this. She seemed to run a pretty good place over there. I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve with patio being closed for testimony at 10 p.m. as well as music shutting down outside at 10 p.m. Hours of operation Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11. Sundays 2 to 10. And she testified, I didn't get a number, but multiple trash receptacles on the patio.
Is that a condition you want on there?
Yeah.
So
I
how
don't know
many?
no. I don't know, 2 or 3.
So if you say multiple, to one person that's 2, to another person that's 8. It's more definitive if we give it
Go with 3.
3 on the patio, correct?
Yes, ma'am. She can put more out there if she wants.
Hey, Mona, really quickly, can we go back for clarification on the hours? So the business itself can be open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, Sunday, 2 to 10. But the patio and any outdoor music must close at 10 p.m. 7 days a week? Okay.
Yep. And that's what she testified to.
Sure.
Does anybody have any other thoughts about this place? All right, that's my motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion moved by Mona, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 All of those opposed? Motion carries.
Won't
Findings,
be a
Mona?
detriment as conditioned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Next.
927. The revocation.
So this is not a revocation by the Board of Adjustment, just to make sure everybody understands. This is something that was revoked by BPS, and now
Yes.
they've appealed it to the Board of Adjustment.
Okay.
So you basically can do 3 things. You can uphold the BPS revocation, you can overturn the revocation and add conditions to it, Or if for some reason you felt like you needed more information, you could table it for more information or something.
Board members, thoughts?
Is this Gravois?
Yes, 3505 Graboy. Yes.
I'll be honest, I did not realize that this was a convenience store. I always thought it was a restaurant. I drive by it all the time. I had no idea it was a convenience store. Is Alderwoman still in favor of this thing being shut down? From her initial letter?
Did we receive anything in addition in the file?
She didn't send a letter this time.
Not from the auditor.
That was from the Board of Public Service, that letter?
Right. She didn't send one for the hearing this time.
And did we send anybody
Used to
out?
be the Pizza Hut, right?
Yes, it's the Pizza Hut. I
So
miss
they
that
did
Pizza-
cover all of their windows with
They're still
signage.
covered.
Huh?
Aren't they still covered?
I believe they may be still covered. I'm not certain. But when we went in and did the investigation is when we discovered that they were operating as a convenience store.
Oh, so they didn't apply for a convenience store?
No,
just
they
started-
applied for one. It's just,
Oh.
I'm just saying the same thing as you. From the outside, it looks like the Pizza Hut, except with a different name. But when we went inside, yeah.
Get me out of this house.
Hello.
Mona's in deep thought.
Oh.
Well, they still had two violations, correct?
Mm.
Which was the window coverings. And they were still selling bongs, is that correct? Am I
Something to
remembering
do with
that?
smoking.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was items 4 and 15, which were the two that were in question.
Going back and looking at it.
It was there shall be no sale of tobacco products. The violation was pipes, bongs. All tobacco and vapes were gone. And then 15, all windows and doors must have no boards, coverings, and the violation was the gaming machines were blocking the windows.
Coverings of any kind. I see that. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, it's a gambling hall.
Yeah, I've been seeing that lately where these little gas shops, quick shops have machines in there, slot machines. I don't know why they call them slots anymore. You don't put money in them. Well, I guess you do. You just don't put coins.
Yeah.
Not the old school ones.
And didn't they testify that they had resolved these two items?
Honestly, I struggled to understand what the gentleman was saying. He spoke very quietly. I'm going to go with whatever it is you said you heard, Joe.
That's my recollection. Did we do an inspection this morning or anything on this place?
No, because it was not a revocation at BPS.
Okay.
I mean, it was not a revocation at the Board of Adjustment. So.
Right. We went with you there, Mary.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's been a long day.
So we don't know if they actually corrected it or not. We can only go off of what the BPS said.
Or you can table it and have us out and see if they've corrected it.
But that would be delaying this decision for another 90 days or whatever, right?
It would. I'm okay with that, actually. I'd rather get it right.
They wouldn't be shut down during that time, would they, Mary?
Technically, they shouldn't be operating now because they were revoked by BPS.
That's correct.
Recall,
Yeah.
we went over this on a different one where if you appeal BPS to the Board of Adjustment, it's automatically stayed unless BPS.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And BPS didn't say that in this case, so they would be able to stay open until you all made a decision if you did continue it.
Okay, Moni, you make the motion. I'll second you.
I'll make a motion that we go out and investigate the 2 violations that were
So what
still
you're
hanging
making a
out.
motion then is to table it in order for us to go out and do that?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
I want to get it right.
Moved by Joe.
And I'm gonna go check
Sorry,
out that
moved
location.
by
I'm gonna go visit my local convenience store.
moved by
Okay,
Mona, seconded.
I moved.
Okay, we have a motion on the
And
floor.
yeah, the minutes. Oh,
Wait,
hold
wait,
on.
we're not done.
Oh,
We are,
I thought you
we are still on 11927. There's a motion on the
Okay.
floor by Mona to table, to allow the
Seconded by
staff to
me.
go out.
And
we
seconded
finished?
by Joe.
second time. The table. Okay.
The motion is to table, moved by Mona, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 All of those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Meeting
I move
minutes.
to accept them. Yeah, I move to accept the minutes of April 6th, 2025.
I'll second.
Should it be April 9th?
Moved by
I'm sorry, it's the 9th.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
April 9th. I'm looking at this thing cockeyed, I guess.
I'll still second it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Moved by Irene, seconded by Joe. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting minutes accepted. Any new business?
The only announcement I have is that we don't have a meeting next week, but we do the following week.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Great.
I second.
Thank you.
Moved by Joe, seconded by Irene. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 See y'all in 2 weeks. Have a happy Easter.
You
Same to you.
Anthony, I was
Enjoy.
gonna say no,
Bye-bye.
but aye.
I just made it. We are now about to take off.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
See you.